Dan, you want to bring us up to date on what happened in the first half as the second half gets underway here?
Yeah, I mean, you have basically a 130 offensive rating for the New Orleans Pelicans, helped in no small part by them going 15 of 29 from three, over 50%, and they've really put it on. Drew Holiday, 21 points, 5 of 6 from three, huge factor in that.
Pell's team record is 19 3-pointers in a game, and they put up 15 in the first half. Brandon Ingram, who was actually quiet, goes to his left past Jackson, and he's stopped. They're going to call a jump ball. Wow, that was a surprise. Looked like he was going to finish it. Good help coming over from the combination of Valanciunas and Morant.
And so, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say Ja's first half is a little underwhelming, especially defensively. But in the Grizz, that 3-point shooting from the Pels, not much is going to overcome that.
Well, and also having Drew Holiday on you does not exactly make all point guards look great.
Oh, did Jackson just tip it out of bounds?
I think he did.
Right shape, wrong size on that tip. As Hawk Harrelson used to say, former White Sox announcer, when there would be a long foul ball. Or right size, wrong shape is what he would say. Here's J.J. Redick finding Melly. He's starting the second half instead of Jackson Hayes. Melly was excellent against Valanciunas. I think they liked that matchup, forcing Valanciunas out on the floor to either open up the middle or for Melly to hit his own three-pointers. 14 to shoot for the Pels. And you see Morant did not do much in the scoring department. They contested him pretty well at the rim. And there's that stretch for Melly. He can't get it, though. And Morant is going to push it. He is breathtaking in transition. They load to him, but then he finds Valanciunas easily. Fantastic work from Morant. Just dribbling up hard. You see what it can open up for you. Here's Lonzo Ball taking the three and draining it for the 16th Pelicans three-pointer of the game.
And Lonzo, that wasn't quite as aggressive as the step back to his left that he had earlier, but he's so much more comfortable shooting that shot now.
Dylan Brooks, been a little thirsty in the first half for my taste. That was another example there early in the shot clock. He's been hot lately, but needs to take a little bit higher quality of attempts. Here's Redick, switched onto by Valanciunas. They want to get Melly in the post. Oh, that was a terrible pass from Holiday. Brooks intercepts. He's been good defensively. They throw it back to Brooks, feeling it. And yes, Dylan Brooks, when he's open from three, he has had the touch this season, getting close to 40% from downtown on the year.
Yeah, and so far today, 13 two-point shots and 2 threes attempted for Dylan Brooks, but he's 2 of 2 on those threes.
Lonzo, they get the switch late. Now pressure from Brooks against Redick. Redick gets him in the air and draws the foul. Brooks gets hit in the chest for his trouble, and that's both Jaren Jackson and Brooks really have struggled with fouls this season.
Yeah, and while it's a lot more justifiable to jump on a JJ Redick pump fake than other guys, it is another situation of trusting yourself and just waiting until you know he's committing.
Redick, this should be 2 free throws here. He stepped inside the line. Grizz showing a little bit more life. Melly was a team best in terms of the plus minus in the first half and also went 3 of 6 from downtown. But Holiday and Ball both were outstanding also. Frank Jackson was 2 of 2. Everybody really except Ingram had it going from 3-point range. Ingram only 6 points on 1 of 5. So the 2 stars of these teams haven't done that much. Drew Holiday's probably still the star for the Pels.
I would say so.
Here's Morant attacking, goes into Holiday. Holiday with the big body forces a miss. Now it's Redick. Switched onto by Crowder. Holiday blowing past Valanciunas into the lane. Oh, beautiful patience. And he's going to get a foul here on Brooks. Didn't see where the contact occurred.
I think he swiped down with his right arm and caught him.
Yeah, I mean, that's another one. Jackson, Brooks, like those guys need to play an intense style, but it's the kind of throwaway fouls like that really kill you.
Yeah, and I love Drew Holiday using Brooks' aggressiveness against him to know that he was going to make that jump, so he had the step. Take the step, get it to your left hand, and get an easier look.
Yeah, Drew, I mean, in many respects here, he's returning from a 7-game layoff due to an elbow contusion. Still got the sleeve on that left arm, but he's really against some of these Grizzly perimeter players, the Youngs, who've been very effective this year. He's really a man amongst boys with his ability to be patient and his strength.
Somebody asked if we're streaming on YouTube too. Yes, you can check out the link. Nate's account just tweeted out, so you can check that out.
There's another nice drive by Brooks, and not a ton of rim protection there now for the Pels with Melly in the game, but they're hoping to make it up on the offensive end. Redick hands off to Ingram. Good job by Jackson getting through initially, and he bothers Ingram at the rim. Pels recover. Deep three from Redick is off. Rebound by Valanciunas. Let's see if Brooks actually passed it here. Oh, yeah, he passed it to Valanciunas to bring the ball up. Here's a drive from Brooks. Goes at Redick. That's going to be a charge, isn't it?
Yep. Redick was set there. And while I think it's harder to officiate because refs don't always think about when the guy takes off, I think Redick was there when Morant took off. Yep, he was. He was moving a little bit forward, but he was pretty well set there.
Yeah, I mean that's about as clear a charge as you're going to see in today's NBA. Pels switching on the perimeter. Redick has Morant on him now. They're going to screen out of the corner for Holiday. Tries to go back door. They didn't see him. Now it's Redick back to Melly into the lane around Crowder. Passes it out. Good deflection by Brooks to prevent an open three, but a nice drive from Holiday goes awry as he couldn't finish. Here's Jackson. Wanted to pull up deep. Holiday did well to switch onto him. Now it's Morant guarded by Redick. Instead, they go to the post to Valanciunas. Good patience, but he's stripped from down low. 2 nice help plays in a row from Redick. 5 on the clock. Valanciunas tries to save it, but it's well out of bounds. Yeah, I realize that Valanciunas has the advantage on Ingram in the post, and that Morant is trying to do the right thing. He's got JJ Redick on him, and they don't have a lot of help defense. Like, just blow by JJ Redick. I think Morant has to be featured more than Valanciunas. Here's Ingram, likes to go to that right hand, and he's going to draw a foul, and they get to the free throw line with the and one. Pels restoring order here, back to an 18-point advantage.
Yeah, and Ingram got fouled a couple times in the really early going and then just wasn't as big a part of the Pelicans offense. Aided in no small part by Drew Holiday hitting a bunch of shots, but he's getting aggressive again. Maybe that was a point of emphasis for Alvin Gentry at halftime.
Yeah, and there's, Jackson has pretty good timing for blocking the shot of his own man, but that's one that I don't think works out more often than not because he's got his arms forward. He's in front. Oh, there's a steal by Holiday. He's going to put this down for a 21-point advantage. But, yeah, again, you see the youth of Jackson as Taylor Jenkins is going to get a timeout here. Just he and Brooks, some bad fouls, and that's hopefully something that will alleviate in time.
Can answer some of your questions. Which high-end playoff team would the Grizzlies and Pelicans each present the biggest challenge to? So for me, it's not going to be the Lakers or Clippers. I just think they're more robust. Let's see. I'd be interested if the Nuggets in the loss column, they are in the area where they could do that. And the Nuggets, a Nuggets series against either of those teams?
Yeah, Nuggets, Houston, the Grizz really handled Houston pretty well.
Yeah, that's true.
I think Houston doesn't really have an answer for Morant defensively.
Yeah, it's not the type of guy that rests guards particularly well. He's better in strength situations than speed ones at this point in his career.
Yeah. Yeah, they like to play fast, which, Houston to me is very vulnerable in transition. They're going to the offensive boards more this year.
That's a good one. That was a Periscope. Are the Mavs a legitimate first round winner? Yeah, I think they can. It depends on who they face. I wouldn't, the same kind of thing. I mean, they have beaten the Lakers, I believe, twice already. But in a 7-game series, when you think about how
I think they've only beaten the Lakers once.
That could be
the Lakers. I think have beaten them twice, maybe even 3 times. They might be done with their series already.
I can't remember.
They blew them out in LA.
Yes.
A game that I was in LA for but didn't go to because I was recording on, I think it was December 1st. But the Lakers won that overtime game early in the season, and then they blew them out recently without AD.
Yeah.
So,
But I think if they were the Mavs were in a series against the Rockets and Nuggets, those maybe the Jazz, depending on how the series was structured, I think they could do fine. But I wouldn't. My guess right now is I would not project the match. The Mavericks to win.
I would probably favor them to beat the Nuggets.
Poor Nuggets.
Well, especially like Carlisle versus Malone as well in a playoff series, and it's not like there's I think the Mavs experience could be an issue, but it's not like Denver has like such awesome playoff experience either.
Yeah.
Does Houston have enough to knock off the Lakers or Clippers? Certainly did not look good for them against the Lakers on Saturday night without AD. But they've played well against the Clippers so far. And so I'm do they have enough to possibly do it? Yeah, I think so. We'll see what they do at the deadline. I mean, they are very, very limited in terms of what they can do with matching salary.
And the Clippers actually have a higher capacity to improve than the Rockets do. So that could also create some new problems.
If you had to take any point guard to win a single playoff game, where would you rank Ja in his current form? Would he be in the top 10 yet? No, I don't think so, because he's too unreliable. He doesn't know how to like play hard at a playoff level yet. He's too unreliable.
And his defense isn't there yet.
Yeah. There's good pressure from Ingram to short circuit the play. They'll switch this with Crowder, not really a threat off the dribble. Brooks is a threat, goes at Ball, knocks him backwards, and a foul will be called on Lonzo Ball. Free throws coming for Dylan Brooks. What do you think of Brooks as far as his value this summer, Danny? He's eligible for a 4-year, $51 million extension right now. He's a restricted free agent. Do you see him as well above the mid-level exception?
I don't right now, especially I see Brooks as more of a straight 2 than a kind of a 2-3, and so he's listed at 6'7", 220. I mean, I think he absolutely can start. I mean, he played the most minutes of any rookie.
He defends and he hits the three and he can do some stuff. Oh, nice backdoor as a miscommunication between Brooks and Jaren Jackson. Jackson thought they were switching. He was wrong. Back to 21. Jackson trying to go at Melly. Now hands off to Crowder. He goes into the lane and just nothing there at all. Lucky to recover it and lay it back in. That was a bad decision to shoot that. Grizz are going to have to actually get some stops here. Melton has come on to try and help them do that. Valanciunas is out. It's now Jackson at center. He's guarding Ingram. Ingram going to his right. Twisting layup goes awry. Here's Jackson looking to push it. He's got Melton on his right. Back to Jackson. Feet set. No. Nice job by Crowder, but unfortunately he can't jump at all. He was in great position, but Jay Crowder, never the most explosive vertical athlete, but it'll stay with Memphis as it got tipped around.
And the broadcast talked about this in terms of the Pelicans with Melly earlier in the game, but the Pels went into the lane, and then Jaren Jackson was just standing out there alone for three.
Here's Crowder's three, shooting around 30% for the season. Pels control. Ball tries to get Ingram posting up on Morant. They're going to double team straight up here. Swing it around. Melly underneath. Oh, nice interception from Melton. Crowder can barely dribble it up, but then he gets Brooks in the corner. But yeah, the Grizz have had some chances with open threes to cut into this lead. It hasn't gone in.
Yeah, they're 6 of 21 and then 16 of 32 for the Pels.
Crowder trying to keep Ingram off his right hand. Now Ball finds Melly at the foul line. Ingram with the drive left. Good blocking foul call there on Crowder.
Yeah, Crowder wasn't all the way set and in guarding position, so you give that to the offensive player.
Yeah, and that's when I think he's like reasonably in front of him there. If he doesn't fall down, it's just a play on.
Yeah. And they could have just called it that way anyway. Ingram for the game, 9 points, 2 of 7 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3, 4 of 5 from the free throw line. I believe three of those or so came in that very beginning, like in the first 3-4 minutes. And the number 2 leading scorer in this game is now on the floor for the Pels, and that's Nicolo Melli. Melli was 3 of 7 from 3 in that first half. Interesting. Clint Capella just picked up his 5th foul early in the second half of the Rockets game. Rockets Thunder, I think? Yeah.
Yeah, so the Morant-Holiday matchup has gone quite in favor of Drew Holiday, and now they're going to get an offensive foul as Jackson tried to post up. There's too much posting up for the Grizzlies in this game. New Orleans, they are not stopping them. The post up is not going to get you back in this game. They need something a little bit more high powered. Got to go away from the running game when you're down. Redick looking to screen Holiday out of the corner. Handoff. They'll switch this. Drew attacking Jackson. He's very handsy. Gets past him. Scores again. Oh, no, they're going to say an offensive foul. I think they're going to say that Drew hooked him with the right hand. Yes, and he did get him. Good call there. The right hand of Holiday. Watch this replay. Yeah, he got him.
It also appears that Holiday might have gotten his hand caught in the jersey, but still, it did the same functional thing.
Brandon Clark is in. He sets the screen for Ja, goes into traffic, and turns it over again. He's had a number of those plays. Usually those end in spectacular fashion, but not tonight. Here's a drive from Holiday. Engages Jackson. Now Redick. Good job by Melton staying with him on that replace. Trying to step back. Good no foul. Excellent defense from DeAnthony Melton on that play.
Yeah, and Melton using the corner as a defender, too, to just basically trap Redick.
Here's Jackson. Did not take the three. Into the lane. Finds Clark underneath. Good big-to-big passing, and Redick commits the foul. I think Redick is a little too eager to give up those fouls.
Yeah, I think
at times, like, I think it was Jackson Hayes was right there to contest that shot.
I'll do an update. There are a bunch of games that all started at the same time, so we're all. Yeah. I will tell you that all of these are kind of middle of the third quarter. Orlando up 15 on Charlotte. Knicks up 11 on Cleveland. Heat up 3 on Sacramento. Rockets up 13 on OKC.
Well, I got a stat for you from that game.
Sure.
Chris Paul, 27 points in the first half. He's +6 in 24 minutes.
And his team is down by 13.
15 now.
Shit.
Melton along the baseline finds Clark, and Clark lays it in over Lonzo Ball. This has been a pretty impressive Pelicans defensive game.
Yeah, with no Derek Favors.
Yeah, no Favors. They usually don't defend with him. Jill Okafor, I mean, not the greatest defensive player, but really the only size is out.
I mean, when you see a team put up a number like 88 with 4 minutes to go in the third quarter, the offense gets your attention. But Memphis is below a point per possession here.
Yeah. Yeah, Drew got fresh legs from downtown today. Here's Melton crossing up on Moore and turned it over again. The Grizz have not made good enough decisions as Holiday is fouled. He'll go to the line. Pretty soon we might start thinking about what other games we want to watch until Boston and Lakers start here. Lonzo with yet another great hit-ahead pass and yet another just silly foul. I mean, how many of those have the Grizzlies had in this game? Probably 5 or 6 just no chance fouls where you're sending guys to the line for no reason.
We're going to a break. It's an interesting one from Kyle Van Zimeren. Which of the teams vying for the 8th seed in the West playoffs would gain the most by getting it?
Gain the most. Well, the Grizz wouldn't give away as bad of a draft pick. I think maybe the Grizz because it would just create some excitement in the local fan base, get a little more profile for Ja, and then they have cap space coming up. And so being a playoff team with the cap space, they're going to look a lot more appealing to potential free agents who, again, I think if they can get another veteran starter or two or a veteran rotation player, they could start to be formidable as Ja and Jaren Jackson really come into their own in the next few years.
Yeah, my only concern with Memphis getting it would be maybe ownership takes that as a reason to start moving a little too quickly. You know, maybe they jump the gun a little bit. And incidentally, the team that I thought of was New Orleans, and that could be something there too. But New Orleans is a more veteran laden team, and they have a little bit less flexibility. So, yeah, I think those are probably the top two for me. I mean, there are a ton of fan bases that will be absolutely thrilled by it. But yeah, I think for me, those are the top two with something to gain. There are some that would lose a lot less. Maybe they would keep things together. And an interesting question with that is, would the Spurs making the playoffs affect Popovich's decision to return? And I don't know.
So Drew Holiday, Andrew Lopez tweeting this out. Career high is 38 in the regular season. He actually had 40 in the playoffs against the Blazers one year. That year being 2018. I know the answer to that. And so we'll see whether this remains competitive long enough for him to actually get into that career high territory. News on our main game. Rajon Rondo is going to be back. Anthony Davis, 28-minute limit is what you said you saw?
Yeah, 28. The intention is to play him in 4 separate 7-minute stints. We'll see how rigidly they stick to that. But I'm happy to definitely see him on the floor.
Yeah, I mean, in the case of a contusion, it's not necessarily a wear and tear type of thing with like a hamstring or a sore knee where you think that playing an extra minute or two is going to kill you.
From I'm List Smartest, would you count both Dylan Brooks and Brandon Clark as part of the Grizzlies core, or better to be packaged for a new piece? I think right now, unless somebody bowls you over with an offer, you intend to keep both of them. But times can change, circumstances. And the big question for me with Clark is a starting front court of him and Jaren Jackson viable, especially on the glass? And if it is, then yeah, you're really good. And if it's not, right now I would have Jaren over Clark in the pecking order, and so that would make Clark more available. But they don't have to make that decision right now. Clark's on the first year of a 4-year rookie scale contract with restricted rights at the end of it. But I think teams are, broadly speaking, too reluctant to trade guys of that level for upgrades. So I would be open to it, but not expecting it.
Ja is out. Tyus Jones, Kyle Anderson are back. Handoff to Melton into the lane. Good defense by Hayes to stay behind Clark and not give up the alley-oop. And then he contests Hill pretty well at the rim as well. Holiday remains in the game. He'll probably get a rest relatively soon here, you would think. Left-handed pass to Hart. Swings it. Moore, and he's run into by Hill. No call. Here's the floater from Moore, and he still has one of the best-looking floaters in the league. They had a game against Detroit a couple of weeks ago where so many people were out that they were running crunch time plays for Etuan Moore's floater. There's another pretty thirsty long two early in the clock from Tyus Jones. Not known as someone who takes those type of shots. So it's a little surprising from him. Hart off the screen. Gets past Anderson and then loses it. It'll remain Pelicans ball. So Grizz really look like they're trying to go with more of an energy unit here. Don't have any of their premium players on the floor. Airball jumper on the baseline leads to Hill, pushing it to Melton, but his pass was a little off. That leaves Anderson in the corner. Good rotations from the Pels here. And a little short floater.
I thought that was going to be an alley-oop, but
so did I. So if we do change over at the end of this quarter, if anybody's got suggestions on which game they want us to do, fire away.
There aren't many games within single digits.
Sacramento, Miami, Danny.
Might be.
Hart's three from the left wing is off. Jones looking to push it and cut into this lead before halftime and keep us here. Hill, he's been happy from three, but can't get that one to go. Grizzlies shooting has been atrocious. Ball going into Jones at clear blocking foul on Jones.
Yeah, and I've liked Lonzo. I continue. I mean, Lonzo Ball is just such a fascinating player because there's so many things, including his push once he gets a rebound, that I really do enjoy. And remember, he's a good rebounder for his position and size, and that's a real value add. It's just that the other things that he doesn't do are apparent as well. And these are his first free throws.
And we'll see one of those things right now. Free throws. Ball, and it really does seem Brandon Ingram in a piece with Kevin O'Connor gave Fred Vinson, the Pels shooting coach, a ton of credit for helping him improve his release point and the versatility of his jump shot. He's been a lot better. Vincent also has been working with Ball as well, and his free throw shooting has looked better this year. 25-point Pels lead.
We might be taking our talents to South Beach.
And Solomon Hill, another. I mean, they definitely have been encouraged to bomb away on this Grizzlies team, but this guys like Crowder and Hill have not had the touch today. Grizz blow the switch. That leaves Ball wide open in the corner for three. Good box out, though, from Melton. Melton does a lot of little things out there. It's not just pure accident that he's a plus-minus king. And he gets a nice layup in transition after the good box out. Ball pushing it right back up again.
Running after
Spin
a make.
move. Finds more. I thought he had the reverse layup there instead. Nice job by Kyle Anderson. Gets his hands on it. He's like a 1/10 speed Matisse Thybulle. Here's the oop to Hayes on that. Wow. You got to throw up pretty damn high for it to be over Jackson Hayes' head, but Frank Jackson accomplished.
That wasn't one of Jackson's two kind of head scratchers. He had that really awful shot in the first half.
Jones, another quick release three, and that one is good. Jones really struggled last year from three, really struggled early this year, but has started to come on lately. And there's the Etuan Moore, that's a big block from Solomon Hill, former teammate of Moore last year. But Moore, that's one of his favorite little moves, is that quick screen and slip to the basket in transition. Usually it's just a pick and pop when the guard sets the screen, but in transition, he assumes the help isn't going to be there. Well, good job by Hill making sure the help was there. Here's Clark's three. It's a little off, though. They do get the 2-for-1, however. So a good shot from Clark, who's shot it well from three, but very limited number of attempts. Hayes not exactly getting anywhere in the DHO. Now Ball will have to create late clock. Attacks Melton. Weak side, Moore, pump fake, three. Oh, yeah. 23-point Pels lead as Memphis has one more chance.
And I think that's their franchise record. I think that was the number 19.
Drive from Jones, tries to draw the foul, does get the floater. He also has a nice floater to pull Memphis within 21, and that's about what it was at halftime. Moore floats over Clark, almost got that amazingly, but let's see if Ja comes out for the fourth. If he doesn't, then we'll probably move on here.
Have you seen an improvement in Andrew Wiggins' game, and if so, in which area? Yeah, I think that his drive game has gotten materially better. That's actually something Seth and I talked about in the collaborative piece that we did with Sam Vecini. And that's, I think, an important step. He's taking a little bit more threes now, which is good. But I wouldn't say that that's just transformational. It helps, though. It helps. Anything for you with Wiggins?
No.
I get that. And remember, and the other kind of part of this is kind of a big picture thing. I try not to pour cold water on fans' enthusiasm, and sometimes that enthusiasm ends up being well founded. After everything, the new Wiggins and all the bump early in the season, current true shooting for the year 53%, career high 54%.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so yeah, he can be better than he was the last couple of years. Totally possible, probable. And I think he'll be at some point in his career better than he is right now. But is that upgrade somebody that we should care dramatically about the arc of the league? No, probably not. But I'd love to be wrong. I'm fine being wrong if it's a player succeeding.
Are the Pelicans going to look to unload Holiday, or are they not going to be sellers? I don't think they are.
No.
I think Zion is going to be back now. They didn't get a chance to see if there were guys who did or didn't fit with him. And I think they feel they have as good a chance of making the playoffs as anybody, and some of the projection systems would agree. I mean, of anybody fighting for the 8th seed, I should say.
And it's not like Holiday is an expiring contract and they're going to lose him for nothing. They can run through this year, see what they have, and I wouldn't be surprised if they kept him into next year, maybe through the entirety of this contract.
So yeah, what do you think here? I guess yeah, Sacramento 80, Miami 79. That was a really
I
close
mean,
game last year, right?
considering the next closest game is Milwaukee, Chicago, and the team we expect to win is up by 9 at home. I feel like we can. I feel like that's the choice.
Yeah, and I mean that was a great game last year. De'Aaron Fox won it with
Yes.
the tip dunk, remember?
Yeah.
So
I will adjust the camera when we change over. And if this game gets closer, we'll jump back to it, and we'll of course be ready for the beginning of Lakers Celtics, which is at that's it. Oh, it's a listed. That's a 4:30 start time. 4:30 Pacific, 7:30 Eastern.
see, I don't like when they do this play of the game is like 37 plays.
No,
Like
single play
yeah,
or player, one of these things.
that play almost was Jackson Hayes destroying Brandon Clark with a dunk at the end of the second quarter, but we did not see that. So we'll see whether we even see Holiday anymore, and let's see what Ja would usually be coming back in right now. See whether he is on the floor or not.
Yes.
Yeah, we do see him back. So yeah, we'll stay here for a little bit. See if the Grizz cut into this at all. They screen away for Jackson on the foul line. Hayes cannot get through the screen. I mean, that took him forever to get there. Jackson wasn't even looking to shoot it. And he was like, oh yeah, I guess he's not here. 19-point game. Grayson Allen guarding Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Ingram guarded by Kyle Anderson. Good help from Jackson.
And
again,
Jaren jumped.
Just
Didn't need to jump.
Just another dumb play by
and that's
Jackson.
5, I believe.
He's right there. And you might as well continue playing him. Yeah, we're going to show here some of the issues that Ja has had. And he's had a lot of plays where he jumps in the air without a plan. And generally those work out for him because he's extremely creative. But the Pels have done a really nice job of showing help against him today. So hopefully they'll stay with Jackson even with the 5 fouls. I mean, the game's going to be over in theory if you take him out. But too bad for Ja. This is the one national TV game that he gets all year, and he ended up not doing much, at least as of now.
Maybe the legacy for the NBA is if you want to showcase your young talent, don't play him against opponents who can guard them really well. Put him against the Wizards.
Yeah. Here's Brooks into the lane. Fades away from the Chris Paul Memorial right elbow, but can't get it. Hayes goes to the near side to Jackson. They switch it. Nice try on the pass, but Grayson Allen did a nice job of fighting to get in front of that bounce pass on the switch. Grizz go to a lot of switching with this group with Jackson at the 5. Pels don't necessarily have a dominating post threat, but they do have that. And that time, they messed up the last time throwing the bounce pass. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, he throws the alley-oop as Hayes was able to get behind. If you're switching there, the switch man has got to fight to get behind Hayes, so that doesn't happen, but it's tough to do. Here's Jackson on that lefty drive. Tried to yoke it on Hayes, and he'll go to the foul line. Jackson, Kevin Pelton had a stat on this a bit ago. He is maybe the most dominant left-hand driver as opposed to how often he goes right.
And that could be something that we see Jackson improve on over the course of time, but he just, you need to develop that. Most players don't work on that, especially bigs with the opposite hand when they're in college, and Jaren's year at Michigan State certainly seems to fit that bill.
1 out of 2 free throws for Jackson. Swing it to Frank Jackson from Ingram. That misses. Jackson has shot well from 3 in the first half. Dylan Brooks attacking Alexander Walker.
Looks like a travel.
Jackson for a 3. Not there. Again, the Grizz. I mean, there's a lot of people who are probably crapping on the Grizz effort. They shouldn't crap on Dylan Brooks' effort, though. He has had a number of nice loose ball retrievals. Here's Anderson on the drive. Oh, almost dunked it.
You know there isn't much help when he can get all the way to the basket with nobody getting there. Kyle Anderson, not the most fleet of foot.
Yeah. Is Kyle Anderson a minivan? He might not be quite corpulent enough, I would say. Nice drive from Ingram. Found the pass to Moore at the last minute, drives in, and scores easily over Morant.
Yeah, Kyle Anderson might be like a minivan in training.
Yeah, there's an example, though, of just the lack of physicality that he has on defense, where Moore is just completely unbothered. There's another awful shot from Dylan Brooks. Yeah, I know that went in, but 12 on the clock, step back to just unnecessary. You're not getting back in the game with a steady diet of those shots. Here's Moore, gets Anderson in the air, and scores over again. That floater from Moore, he's got 3 of those now. Here's the drive from Brooks. That time he makes the pass. Grayson Allen wide open, and again, another Grizz 3 is way off.
And the Grizz, I mean, them having so much cap space this summer and presumably next summer, depending on how they want to structure it, they can take some swings too and get some players who conceptually could work, be really nice fits, and if it doesn't, then they can move on as long as they don't pay too much, give them Andrew Wiggins money or something like that.
Yeah, Eachon Moore called for the travel. He dragged his pivot foot, which was that back foot. That's why the call was made.
Oh, your mic is off.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about
that.
I coughed and then forgot to turn it back on. We really need a producer to tell us this stuff. There's finally a vintage jaw move, although we didn't see it because of the terrible camera angle. That in and out dribble to crossover with the big on his heels is classic jaw right there. Melli on the drive, and he beats Valanciunas. Again, Melli has really gotten the better of the matchup with Valanciunas. A miscommunication between Allen and Valanciunas left Melli open. Here's a drive from Brooks. Goes into Melli. No call, but easy layup is there for Valanciunas on the putback. .20 game. Grizz haven't made any headway in these first 4 minutes. Ingram off the screen, swings it. Melli is wide open again and can't get it. But, he's got that shot, basically any kind of a handoff or pick and roll action against Valanciunas. Uh-oh! Woo! That was nice. Yeah, when he gets that guy on his heels, he goes so fast, and then the stop. These are just, again, moves, like the way he goes behind his back in traffic. Like, no one does that. It's so low to the ground. Most guys...
And it's so quick, too.
Yeah.
Like, he gets it back to his left hand so quickly that Melli couldn't react. And, Melli's not the fastest reactor in the league, and he's not long, but a beautiful play.
Yeah, the one-hand, left-hand finish, and that most guys wouldn't do that because they'd be worried the guy from behind is going to steal it. He does it so quickly, he doesn't even have to worry about that. All right, I'm glad we stuck around for those last 2 plays. They'll switch on the perimeter. Now Ingram attacks. They're going with the 2 big lineup. Holiday, man, not the guy you want to leave open tonight, that's for sure. He's been struggling from 3 this year, around 30%, but apparently feeling it after a nice layup. Here's Ja again. Oh, he got blocked by Melli. I thought he was going to get dunked on. Now here's Holiday for the alley-oop. Passes ahead of him, and good hustle from Valanciunas. Now Ja will try it again. He's got Grayson Allen for the dunk. This is all very exciting, even though it's a 20-point game right now.
That's what happens with young teams, though, sometimes.
Here's Holiday putting Jackson in the mix. Gets him in the air. 3-pointer from Ingram on the left side is off. Tipped up by Brooks. Good job by him, but they're going to get a loose ball foul as Melli fought for it.
Who would have thought Jaren Jackson would jump for a pump fake?
Yeah, who got Melli there exactly? I want to see that Melli block again.
No, don't show the alley-oop. That wasn't as interesting.
No, it really wasn't. I thought Melli was about to just be a Aaron Bain style highlight, and instead he came out of nowhere to block it. That was awesome. Brandon Clark replacing Jaren Jackson. They still go with the 2 big alignment. We haven't seen much of Valanciunas and Clark, and yet another dumb Grizzlies foul.
My vote is the 3-shot foul is the impetus for us changing games.
Fair enough. All right.
Kings Heat is a 4-point game.
Kings with the lead.
Yes.
Let's see what we got here.
Actually, I'll change it whenever you switch over.
Let me see. Kings. I think we might be okay. This should be Fox Sports, so they have this similar camera. Nope. Actually, never mind. That's not right. If it were NBC, it would be good. Actually, here, hold on. I got you, Danny. We're gonna switch it to NBC, and then it should be perfect.
Almost.
Ah. So Kings lead it by 6 here. If you want to hit us some stats when we get a break, it's Adebayo posting up, and the back door to Dragic is fumbled out of bounds. It was a nice pass from Adebayo. That's something he specializes in, is setting guys up out of the post, out of the DHO game. Looks like Miami going to their 2-3 zone. Buddy Hield is in the corner. That's the one nice thing that Miami does is the guys up top do a nice job in concert with the guys on the baseline to not allow corner threes as easily. There's a bad miss from the Kings. Olynyk is wide open on the right wing, and man, doesn't go in. Yogi Ferrell getting some tick here for the Kings. They've got Hield at the 3. I think that might be the anti-zone approach right now. So they got Hield in that right corner. Alley-oop from Bielitsa. Bagley airballs.
I don't know if Bagley knew that was a pass.
Yeah, I don't know how that wasn't a travel. And instead, missed at the free throw line from Yogi Ferrell. Here's Dragic crossing up on Hield. Good help from Bagley, takes that away. A nice defense by Marvin Bagley. Now he's trying to front Bam in the post. They go away from him. Dragic on the drive. Steps back. Wow, he just stops and starts. And he was wide open at the foul line. Back to the zone for Miami. It's looked pretty good so far. They try a flare screen for Yogi Ferrell. Fox drives in. Ferrell, Bielitsa, good close from Nunn. And he's going to hack him at the foul line there.
So to me, the story of this game, just looking through the box score, is the possession game. Sacramento only shooting 11 of 42 on threes, but they win the turnover margin 20-13, and 10 of those 20 turnovers were live ball, and they also are winning the offensive rebound battle 12-3. So that's giving them a lot more opportunities, and so even though they're only shooting 42% from the field, they're still ahead in the game.
Back to the zone once more, trying to get Bielitsa at the foul line. Bogdanovic, who is back, dribbles it off his foot. Back, I say, from an ankle injury that cost him quite a bit of time. But I'm not sure what he was upset about there.
I think he was upset about a cut on the far side, but it didn't affect what happened.
Adebayo looking to screen for Duncan Robinson. They bring Nunn off it as well. Fox gets through that, and they're going to... Hield wanted a foul call, but instead a reach-in is called on him.
Only person who's in any sort of foul trouble, Goran Dragic has 4. Everybody else has 3 or fewer.
Interested to see, is Jimmy Butler available tonight? Presumably he'll come back in. If so,
He has not played.
About it. Oh, all right.
Ooh, Bam.
Yeah, Bam Adebayo has played though, and that was a beautiful drive from Nunn. Bagley stepping up. Fox could not get back in time to Adebayo. Into the lane, Bielitsa. It seems like their strategy here in their zone offense is to try to get the ball into the middle to Bielitsa and then overload one side so he has some passing options against more guys than the zone can provide. But hasn't really worked that well. They haven't gotten many good shots so far. And we'll get a timeout here and some questions. How many hours a day would you say you spend consuming basketball? I mean, I probably do 3 to 3.5 hours of just like some kind of research. A lot of it's just reading articles, catching up on film, preparing for podcasts. I guess the podcast itself doesn't count as consuming. And then, I'll probably watch at least, maybe like 20 games a week, something like that. That's
That
probably,
seems all right.
that's about it, I would say. Not all of those necessarily live.
Oh, what does it say about the talent in the league that the Milwaukee Bucks aren't the clear favorite? I mean, there are a bunch of really good teams, and also Milwaukee, partially because of how they lost last year, I think there's this element that was sort of paralleling with the 14-15 Warriors that people wouldn't believe it until they did. But
Yeah.
the Warriors won it their first year, and the Bucks didn't.
Yeah. I mean, I still think like they almost beat Toronto. And
Oh,
if
yeah.
they would have been almost certainly the NBA champions. So the idea that like, oh, this team is so flawed they can never win. I mean, they were very, very close, and it took some 1-3 here or there, and they're the NBA champions. There's a nice drive from Fox, and that time it was a little bit different of a strategy. They left the middle open for the drive of Fox rather than having a guy at the free throw line. 4-point game. Adebayo screening for Dragic. Now they screen away for Robinson. Good job. The spacing was off there, and they couldn't find Robinson open. Now they trap on this corner, or on the sideline, I should say. Drive baseline by Nunn. Good job by Fox cutting him off. Nunn. Oh, man, Adebayo dunked it all over the back of his own man, Olynyk. Yeah, Bagley had come over to help on the weak side on the Nunn drive, and that left the boards exposed. Here's Bielitsa, floater. Oh, bam. And, I mean, it's pretty incredible that on his second jump, he's able to get up there and block that, but it was, in fact, a goaltend.
Yeah, and it feels like Bielitsa and Bagley haven't figured out the communication yet on how to handle that. Like, the Kings are doing the first step of getting the ball to the right player in the right place, but then they're not doing the second step of what do you do there? And it takes time, and most teams don't play against the 2-3 zone that often. And Miami does it well.
And the other thing, too, is that if there's anyone you can want on kind of that 2-on-1 in the middle of the zone with the guy in the dunker spot, Bagley, and Bielitsa at the foul line, defending that, it's Bam Adebayo. And he almost stopped him that time. Who do you think is the best chance of challenging the Bucks in the East besides Philly? I'm going to actually say Toronto. And my rationale is that the Bucks just give up so many three-pointers, and Toronto has a lot of good shooters, and they can bomb it, that they're the most likely to get hot. Part of maybe Miami too. Miami takes a lot of threes, but
I think Miami's would have some defense. Part of me is also thinking Indiana, just on the idea that they have the biggest potential improvement, and if it works.
Yeah, I'm going to turn around. I'm going to say Miami because I think Adebayo can guard Giannis pretty well.
I'm gonna say Toronto. I just think they could put the pieces together, and they can. Yeah. I think they can defend. They don't have the perfect guy anymore to defend Giannis, but they have a lot of good defenders on their team.
Yeah, Rockets game apparently is tied now. Thanks for the comment on that. But
absolutely.
we'll stay right here. We don't get a chance to do much Kings,
and we might even be able to jump over for the ending of that because this game is ahead of it.
Nice denial by Fox on Nunn. Finally, they get it to him to run their play with 10 on the clock. Nunn into the lane, goes into three guys, and he floats it over Bagley. Difficult shot, but he's brought Miami within 2.
And that was a good contest by Bagley. Just didn't affect Nunn's shot, apparently.
Heat still sticking with the zone. They get it to Bielitsa, floats it up, and scores. And one. Duncan Robinson called for the foul from behind. And I really like what Bielitsa did there to carve out the space, use his body at the foul line, almost post up outside of the lane so that Robinson couldn't deny the pass to him. And then a silly foul from Robinson. You like the zone here, or should they go back to man?
I think the Kings have figured it out enough that you can go back. And remember, the Kings are scoring. I think they're barely above a point per possession in this game. So it's not like he had to figure out some sort of thing to slow him down. And Miami executes it well. I think they can play him straight up.
Yeah, I think they've got Dragic, Robinson, Olynyk. Not the greatest individual defenders. Maybe that's the thought, is we're going to get a foul here. Looks like it's Buddy Hield holding Duncan Robinson as he tried to cut across the lane.
And since we're on a broadcast that doesn't show team fouls, we have no idea how close teams are to the bonus.
Dragic will inbound. Adebayo gets it back to Dragic, and they want to get it to the elbow. That took a while. Screen away for Robinson. They're running the same play that they just did. Here's Nunn. Adebayo down the lane. Goes at Bagley, and Bagley just wraps him up with 6 on the shot clock.
And Bagley there, I mean, he was keeping an eye on Nunn, but he couldn't get back to Adebayo in time and just decided the hack was worth giving up the 2 points.
Yeah, and Bagley playing at center in the absence of Rashawn Holmes with a shoulder injury. I'll be very curious to see who starts at center when Holmes comes back, especially if the Kings experience any success, because you really can't play Bagley and Holmes together. The logjam in the front court has been eased a little bit with the trade of Trevor Ariza, which isn't going to go through until Tuesday, but and we'll see how they play now with Bagley at center. James Johnson in as a defensive replacement now for Miami as the lead is cut to 4. Want to see if they can get some stops. Olynyk has been replaced, and looks like they're going to more of a 1-3-1 type of look now, rather than, and now they're switching into, I have no idea what the hell they're doing. They disguised it well. Here's a wide open 3. They didn't know what the hell they were doing either. They give up the wide open 3. Bielitsa skies for the rebound. Bagley, nice move along the baseline. And Sacramento putting Miami into difficulty now, down 6 with only about 4 possessions to make that up. Adebayo looking to hand off again to Robinson. That leaves Johnson open for a 3. Oh, man, they left him open. Robinson, so much of a threat with his gravity. Bielitsa, I thought he really overcommitted there. Bogdanovic had him. So they're going again. Watch James Johnson here. He's playing a very odd role in the middle of this zone. I think he's almost matching up with Bielitsa in the center of the court as they're going with more of a diamond look
like
around him.
2-1-2.
Here's a 3 from Hield. Oh, Bagley with a massive tip dunk. Oh, man. Marvin Bagley having his best showing of the season.
Bam had to choose a body. He chose Bielitsa, and that gave Bagley the opening to tip dunk that all the way through. Wow. Bagley now for the game. I believe it's 14 points on 7 to 12 from the field. Missed his only 3. This will be his first free throw of the entire game. 14 rebounds, and 2 assists. And they've been even in his minutes when you consider that's not bad.
Yeah, Marvin Bagley restoring the 6-point advantage for the Kings after the Johnson 3 had brought the Miami within a possession. Harrison Barnes is back in now as a defensive replacement for Bielitsa. Similar action again for Miami, bringing guys off screens on the weak side. Here's Johnson feeling it. Yes,
again.
A second 3-pointer from James Johnson. Both teams with 2 timeouts left now. Miami, we said they had 4 possessions left to make up 6 points. So they've got 6 points on 2 possessions now, courtesy of Johnson. Swing it to the corner, Bogdanovic. Healed. Drive by Fox right down the lane. Lays it up. Bagley on the glass. Bagley fighting. And will stay here with a new shot clock for the Kings. 13 seconds off the offensive rebound reset.
I'm hoping the timing will work that we can jump to the end of OKC Houston, but that game is zipping along too, so that only has a minute left. OKC, by my box score, up 1 with 1:08 left.
Anything fluky about the shooting performances in this game? Because I
mean Sacramento being 11 of 44 because Miami's
from 3.
From 3 because Miami's opponents cannot make threes.
Yeah, should probably answer the question of why Butler isn't playing. I'm gonna look at that. Right hip soreness, and it was a back-to-back. They were one of 4 teams that played yesterday. As they lost in San Antonio and now playing on a back-to-back, so makes sense that they would hold him out. We're getting a look here at a review to see whether this is going to be still with the Kings. That view doesn't tell us much. Bagley got hacked a couple of times in that scrum. I'll wait for Secaucus to do God's work here and tell us whose ball this is going to be.
I'm reading the play-by-play of the OKC Houston game. It was just a foul on Daniel House, so I don't know if they're in the bonus yet.
Hey, we could have Kevin Harlan this.
Yeah.
Let's get on the other
Call
TV.
both games. So this will be hard. We're not going to have the score up, but we will, while during this interminable review, we can keep an eye on it.
Yeah, it's Thunder 108, Rockets 105. Rockets led it by 18 in the third. Harden, with the Rockets down 5, 49 seconds left, tries to go into Gallinari and floats it up and lays it in, and the Rockets are now within 1. 40 seconds left, so they got to just play straight defense here. Thunder going to that triumvirate of Schroeder, Gilgeous-Alexander, and Paul, along with Mike Muscala, who's their only available big, and Gallo. Here's Schroeder trying to put Harden in the mix, and does. Yep, free throw line jumper. Thunder by 3. Now the Rockets need a 3. Only about a 4-second differential. Harden switched onto by Gallinari. Gallinari.
The longer he waits, the more they
Harden
foul.
is taking his time. He drives in. There's two guys standing next to each other in the corner for Houston. Now Westbrook drives. Still trying to set up a 3. Fading away in the corner. Off. Tucker with the rebound, but he tips it right to the Thunder. And Gilgeous-Alexander is going to have 2 free throws to ice it for the Thunder. And we'll go back to this game. That was fun.
Woo! Reset here.
Kings ball.
Kings ball up 3, 50 seconds to go, but only 13 left on the shot clock.
Yeah, Sacramento can really put Miami in trouble with a bucket here. Healed, switched onto in the corner. Dragic telling Robinson to get over there a little more. They want to post up Bagley on Adebayo. Not an advantage matchup. 4 on the clock. Back out. Healed. Quick 3. Air ball. Miami with a chance to tie it here. 37 seconds left. They got to get the 2 for 1 for sure. Nunn is taking his time. He's got Robinson. His 3. Yes!
Oh, wow.
Perfect job. They set that play up clearly in the replay review, and the game is tied, and they got the 2 for 1. Robinson coming off of 2 screens on the weak side. Great job by Nunn. Exercising patience. You figured something was happening
and Luke
there.
Walton, it looked like he was going no timeout, but apparently it looks like he's going to call one now. Both teams had 2, so you kind of expected they would just call one right away. No real difference.
Yeah, well, I mean, you might as well, in theory, give your team a chance to push it up.
They didn't push, though.
Yeah, the Kings don't do that anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dave Yeager.
So this will be an interesting chess match now of, is Miami going to go to the
Oh, my God. Memphis-New Orleans is a 5-point game.
Are you kidding me? Oh, my God. All right, well, we'll switch back to that one on the other TV. This one's tied, though. We could stay here. Memphis doesn't deserve our attention.
You do it too late. We resent it. Oh, and now it's back up to 10. Okay. So it was 5. Thank you for letting us know, but then it went back up to 10. And the Bucks are up 13 on the Bulls. That game is about to end. And so then this next time slot is basically, I think, it's Lakers Celtics, which is obviously the game we're going to do, and then Denver Minnesota starts a little bit after, and then it slows down. I mean, 14 games on one day is pretty amazing.
So yeah, back to what we were talking about here. The chess match, is Miami going to go zone? What zone look are they going to go to? Is Luke Walton going to have an ATO for man or an ATO for zone? Very interesting. And they've got 12 on the shot clock to work with. There's a 6-second differential. I think you almost certainly have to take the timeout immediately here if you are Miami, unless you have a straight up fast break going the other way. All right, looks like they're in that same zone with Johnson at the foul line. Fox into the lane, one-on-one. He's got Bjelica in the corner. Great close from Dragic. Time running down, fires it up. Rebound Bjelica in the lane, scores!
Oh, what a shot.
1.9 left, and Miami needs time.
And in those circumstances, it's a little bit different when a team has a timeout, but go hard for the offensive glass there because there's no downside risk.
Oh, absolutely. And worst case scenario for Miami here as they run all the time down and then get the offensive rebound as well. And it just an unlucky bounce went over the head of Dragic and Bjelica. He's skied for a couple of rebounds here, as much as he's capable of doing so. So Miami now, we'll think about what they're going to try and get. A three-pointer here makes a lot of sense because it gets you the win. You don't have to go into OT. Tough really to get a two-pointer even with so little time left. I think you have an option for that quick play, maybe with Adebayo going to the hoop. Hope there's a miscommunication on the back screen. A lot of teams will do that play where they kind of curl along the near side lane line and then curl off a screen back towards the basket. We've seen guys get alley-oops in this situation on those plays. So I think you go for that option and then maybe have your shooter set that screen and then pop them out to the three-point line. See if that can either cause a miscommunication. Sacramento should probably be in switch everything mode here, I would imagine.
Yeah, and I'm interested in who Miami has as the inbounder here because you'd like somebody tall so they can see over it a little bit, but without Jimmy Butler around, most of Miami's best passers are shorter.
Yeah, I'm guessing, it is going to be Dragic. That was my thought. So is this Myers Leonard who's in here now? Or is that Hero?
That's Tyler Hero.
Oh, it's Hero. Yeah, he's a little short. All right, so let's see. Watch Adebayo here. I think that he's going to be involved in this action. He screens for Robinson. They lob it up. Beautiful
look
pass.
at that.
And they got the switch on Joseph, who was in for a defensive replacement. Beautiful pass from Dragic. Two dudes are hugging each other in the front row, and
that's
still
also,
have 0.8 left.
That's also the interesting consequence of having only one big man on the floor and putting him on the inbounder was there was nobody who had positional size. I mean, Harrison Barnes was probably the next tallest king, and he wasn't involved in the action.
Yeah, and also I think Bagley there, he's kind of oriented to take away, guarding the inbounder, to take away the pass to the top, and so that left a little bit more of a passing lane for Dragic. But yeah, I mean, that's a beautiful pass, beautiful design, and Adebayo with a nice finish down low. So, I mean, and I don't fault Sack that much. I think you still got to be in switch everything mode because you're you don't want to get beat and go home. Like, worst case, they tie the game on you. Yeah, here they're showing that play we talked about a few minutes ago with Fox having the big dunk. So with 0.8 left, remember Bjelica hit a big three against Houston in a very similar situation to this. Wonder if they go to that same play again.
And here I think I'd use Bogdanovic as the passer.
Yeah, they are going to inbounding from the same spot as they did against Houston. Miami probably going to go zone. They've got Derek Jones in for defense. They've got Myers Leonard standing at the basket just to protect it. So this is a zone look. They might be able to get a shot here against the zone.
Short, yeah.
Trying to get healed. Bogdanovic, his three for the win. Short. And we got some overtime.
So now we have a choice to make. The other game will probably start in about 10 minutes. You want to try to do some of this?
Well, yeah, I mean, let's stay here.
Yeah.
Why not? There's nothing else going on, is there?
I mean, we'll once Lakers Clippers or Lakers Celtics, goes on, we can do that. But no, this is the only thing going on right now. Just to catch people up on the final result of the game we were originally doing here, Pelicans 126, Grizzlies 116. Leading scorer Drew Holiday with a scintillating 36 points, 12 of 18 from the field, 7 to 10 from 3. And he only had 1 assist and 5 turnovers, but he was doing a wonderful job defensively on John Morant, who finished 5 of 14 from the field, did have 9 assists. And Ingram ended up with 25 in kind of, it seemed like 3 spurts. Good that he came back into it. And Nicolo Melli was big in the first half. I think he had 12 points in the first half, but then ended up with 15. Pels, franchise record, 21 made threes, 21 of 48. Grizz ended up 9 of 33. That's a big difference in that game. Okay, that's a good one from H DeBoer 83. Listening to your trade breakdowns, I'm curious how many teams you think should be trying to make the playoffs each season. a lot of teams. So trying is. I talk about this in terms of the opposite concept, which is tanking. And so I think a lot of teams should be, playing with the guys they have and intending to make the playoffs in the early going. However, teams can reach these points of no return where the benefits of keeping on trying, or the opportunity cost of keeping on trying, maybe that's selling away some of your assets, that can be limited. And so I would say you generally end up starting with 13 or so teams that should be trying, and that number narrows to about 10, just based on the ebbs and flows of the season. But then there are a lot of teams. I mean, the most interesting question for some of them is, it's not even about do you make trades, but who do you play on your team? And like I brought up Cam Reddish as an example here. Like, it's fine for Atlanta to play Cam Reddish, but it's not probably smart to play Cam Reddish if your goal is to make the playoffs. And so reconciling those two, and sometimes it's the GM and the coach splitting the baby and doing a little bit of both, but that's something worth watching. But yeah, but I would say 13 to start, 10 at the end, which is a pretty fair proxy.
All right, we are back here for the start of overtime. This has really been a grind-out affair with this Heat zone. Dragic, they try to get the Utah out of bio, and he dunks it. The back screen by Robinson, Spain pick-and-roll action, but they disguised it well. And Bagley could not get through the screen. Nobody wanted to help on the back screen because Robinson is their best shooter. Heat remaining in the zone. Trying to get Bagley posted up 25 feet from the basket. That didn't make much sense. Here's Hield, who's been very quiet. Fox, fade away on Dragic is off. And yeah, I mean, they really have not gotten hardly any threes against this zone, which is interesting. Bogdanovic has none. They screen away for Robinson. He's open. Oh, that's off. Robinson had the key three-pointer to tie it. In what was how many buckets did we get in the last minute, Danny? It was a crazy
I think it was
end.
5.
Fox crosses over on Johnson into the lane. Oh, it squirts out. Rebound out of bio. Here's Dragic. Crossing over on Hield. Crossing over again into the lane. Tough fader is off. Rebound goes over the head of Bagley to Adebayo. And Dragic will reset, but I hate when they do this now off of offensive rebounds. Like, you don't have time to do that anymore with the new shot clock rules. Here's a drive, and Bagley tried to take the charge on Johnson, couldn't, and instead it's going to be a foul.
And remember that ebb and flow in this game. James Johnson exhumed off the bench and then drills 2 3-pointers.
Yeah, I mean, they brought him in as a defensive replacement to play at the nail in that zone.
And I shouldn't say James Johnson exhumed. He has 20 points in this game. He was 8 of 9 from the field in regulation.
Well,
he was exhumed in our minds because he hadn't been on the court.
Yeah, it's a global
Yes. Exhumation.
Yeah. Because he'd been really in purgatory until this recent spat of injuries with Justice Winslow and then Butler not playing today. He's played a few minutes in some games recently, but maybe Spo will get Deion Waiters.
Maybe I was just remembering about Miami's vaunted overtime net rating. Maybe that I don't think it's going to go up in this game, but it could if Sacramento doesn't score. Sorry, Seattle.
Yeah, the other game has not started yet, by the way. Hield. Oh, he's open for a second there as they miscommunicated, and that was interesting. The corner guy in the zone, I guess it was really more the wing guy, Nunn, was expecting Johnson to come up, and he didn't get there in time. That left Hield open. Kings have shot a lot of threes overall tonight, but not as many since we've been watching.
Yeah, they have 48 attempts in the game compared to 38 for Miami, and Miami has made more of those 38 because Sacramento is shooting 23% from 3. Actually, I think it's 25 after the Buddy Hield one.
Bam. Dragic now. They want to run that Spain action again with Duncan Robinson. Those guys all working off of each other. I thought Robinson traveled there. Swing it over to Johnson. Gets Bielitsa in the air. His 3 short as the shot clock expired. Yeah, there's so much you can do. The Heat do a lot of this stuff of a shooter, a point guard, and the big all interacting with each other. And here's a nice play by Bogdanovich to Hield and James Johnson. They're going to get a timeout. Johnson has let Hield go a couple times. I think that's his
Yeah.
assignment.
And that was beautiful by Bogdanovich to hold the ball as little time as humanly possible so the
Yeah.
Heat didn't have a chance to react.
Yeah, you get it into that short corner area against the zone, and there isn't really a guy who's assigned to that. Yeah, here's that first three where none has Hield. He's expecting Johnson to get out there. Again, Johnson, I mean, it's a tough responsibility for him because he also has the responsibility of the nail. I'm starting to get a decent idea for what the responsibilities are in this Heat zone. But they're all so weird because of the defensive 3 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Hield overall for the game, 20 points on 7 of 18 from the field, 5 of 16 from 3, 1 attempted and made free throw, 7 rebounds, 7 assists in 40 minutes.
Yeah, Bielitsa, the most efficient star for the Kings. He's 22 points on 8 of 13. For Miami, it hasn't been an amazingly efficient game. Just right around the league average overall. Kendrick Nunn leading them in minutes. But it's actually James Johnson, 8 of 10, 4 of 5 from 3, 20 points, leading Miami. But he is -7. So interested to see now whether are they going to go back to Olynyk? No, they're going to stick with Johnson. Sacramento has had largely the same group out there. Barnes replacing Bielitsa on occasion for defense, but aside from that, it's been pretty much the same group. Pick and roll, Johnson. Oh, with the dunk! And Bagley got caught too high on that play. Well, actually, no, was that Bagley? Sorry, I don't have my second screen is on Lakers Celtics now, so don't have that. I think we'll stay here to finish this out though before we go over to Lakers Celtics, unless there are any objections. Fox crossing over, drives, bam with the rejection. They wanted a goaltend, and they are. Oh, see, this is the NBA's rule here, but you can challenge at any point, or it's automatic review at any point in overtime, right? Oh, that's a clear goaltend.
Yeah, that was on.
Let's see this. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's on
coming
its way
down.
down.
That's coming down. And Spo is saying, hey, you took away the fast break, but no, that's the right call. And yeah, it took a little bit to think about it, but if they don't call it, then it's not reviewable.
Straight note, Lakers and Clippers have 2 of the best historical jerseys of all time, and the Lakers are wearing alternates tonight, which probably means the Celtics are too.
No, Lakers have their normal jersey, right?
Isn't the lettering different on the front?
Oh, maybe. All right, let's lock in on this game though. If we're gonna finish up. Fox directs Hield into the corner. Now pick and roll with Bagley. Swing it to Bogdanovich, who wasn't really ready to attack. Right back to Fox. He's going to try and split again. He does. His floater, right hand, is off. Bagley, rebound goes over his head. And Miami, with a 1-point lead, will try to get a little bit of an advantage here. Nunn cut off nicely by Fox multiple times. Then Bam sets the screen. Fox is right back there again. Great defense by Fox. Now Dragic has to make something happen. He creates space on Hield. Fades for 3. Not there. Rebound. And we're going to stay here as Bam engaged 2 Kings and kept it with Miami. But now we're going to review it. So we'll talk about this other game. AD is starting for the Lakers. I really want to see how they're going to guard LeBron because they don't have much size here at all. What do you guys think? Should we switch over to Lakers Celtics or stay here?
No responses yet. Well,
stay. All right.
Okay. Yeah, we'll be there within a couple minutes.
Yeah, well, we think this review is making me want to leave.
It's already over.
All right.
Just explaining it.
Okay, good.
Apparently TNT had the stat that Kemba Walker has never beaten LeBron James. That's pretty amazing.
All right, the stays have it here in terms of the votes. This is a democracy. Ultimately, we want to make you guys happy.
Don't tell them that. but it usually is.
Well, no, you tell them it's a democracy unless we really, really disagree.
Yeah, and that was a really nice defensive possession by De'Aaron Fox. And I mean, with his athleticism and intensity, it always seemed like that potential was there. Going back to the Hoop Summit, where I thought he did a nice job.
Yeah. So Barnes is going to come in to replace Bielitsa defensively. Kings trailing by 1 here. They have 2 timeouts. Miami only has 1. 14 on the clock to work with after the offensive rebound. Dragic screens for Bam. Great job by Bogdanovic stepping out and then still getting back to Dragic. Now it's the pick and roll. Dragic under the rim. Robinson healed, lost him. Oh, air ball. Wow. That was looking like trouble for the Kings. Robinson would like that one back, to be sure, and that gives Walton a chance to bring back Bielitsa.
Without having to burn a timeout, too.
Harrison Barnes, the $24 million defensive replacement, on the sidelines again. Still zone for the Heat. Try to set up Bielitsa. He attacks Johnson, makes the decision. Oh, perfect pass to Hield, but Hield can't convert. That was really, really good penetration from Bielitsa, and I like the play call from the Kings. Bielitsa making a good decision, but Hield couldn't convert. Now Dragic gets away with a hook. 10 on the clock. Bielitsa now out on Dragic. They late switch it. Dragic going to create space on Bielitsa. Spins, lays it up short. Good job by Nemanja Bielitsa. And they should call Dragic for a foul there, maybe, to me. He's almost tripped everybody there. If you're going to flop into the path of people, you're creating a dangerous play. I don't know if that's what Luke Walton is aggrieved about. But Sacramento down now with a 5-second differential. He's wondering how, I'm guessing, let's see, did they call timeout? Is that what the issue is? Yeah, he's saying he called timeout as soon as Bielitsa had the ball.
And he had control.
Yeah, and this should be stay with the Kings, but Luke wants those precious seconds back, I guess. Yeah, and I take it back. I don't think Dragic did really flop there. My bad. Stream is on YouTube. Yes, it is. It is.
Yeah,
you can check my Twitter. You'll always find it there.
Somebody asked about a Robert Covington and Zhang trade for Courtney Lee and some other things. The Wolves aren't making a Covington trade just to dump Zhang's salary. It doesn't actually give them that much extra flexibility. So no, they could do it. I don't think Covington is on this some sort of do not trade list, but it's always good to think about why a team would trade a player that good. And Zhang's salary, it's not like they're going to sign somebody with cap space.
So Kings trail by 1, 5-second differential. The 2-for-1 is not really available. I think Walton would have liked to have had those extra seconds to maybe try and get that. Derek Jones is in, and Heat are still in the zone, it looks like. 1-on-1, Fox against Johnson, fades away over him. Airball, Bagley throws Leonard out of the way, and we're going to go the other way. They call this foul. Bagley is upset with that. Good defense by James Johnson on Fox. Great contest, and yeah, I mean, that's certainly a little bit of a flop there from Leonard once he realized that he couldn't get the ball. But there's enough there to support that.
And I mean, the guy who's in position first usually gets the benefit of the doubt on those sorts of calls.
So King's going to
pressure
up here.
Do you try a quick trap?
Yeah, with 15.4 left, I think you can try it. They try to deny the inbounds. Throw it ahead to Dragic. They got to foul him now. Bagley didn't foul him for some reason. What are they doing? Why didn't Bagley foul him? And now with 9.3 left, they do. So there's still some time. But that will bring Miami to the line. It's going to be Kendrick Nunn. And Sacramento will, barring an offensive rebound, get a chance to tie it, but they may need a desperation 3.
And Kendrick Nunn shooting 80% on free throws this season.
Nunn, Simeon, Chicago high school product, hits the first. having one of the more unexpected rookie seasons in recent memory as a starter for one of the best teams in the East, was signed because the Heat were able to create space under the tax by getting Rodney Magruder claimed, and that turned out to be a great piece of business. Walton will get a timeout here. Do you think there's any thought of trying to go for the quick two, or is there not enough time?
I don't think there's enough time. It is true that Sacramento has another timeout left, but I think it's, especially when you think that unless you could get it like on a lob, it just seems like you're going to run a few seconds. And then remember, they didn't foul right away last time.
Yeah, catching up on Lakers Boston. It is now wow, that was a weird play. 13-12 Lakers lead. Yeah, and if there were 15 seconds left, I'd say, hey, run your play for a three. If it's not there, you can get the quick two. They do have a timeout remaining. But with 9 seconds left, you got to run the initial play for a three, and there probably isn't time to get the two if the three isn't there. And so you got to just make sure you jack it up and try and tie it.
So we'll see who's out there on the floor for the Kings. I think it's going to be pretty much the default five, not including Harrison Barnes' defensive replacement. And we'll see what defensive scheme Miami's in. That could be interesting here too. They could try something like the kind of the equivalent of a no threes defense to see if it messes up Sacramento's concept.
Yeah, they've been in the zone every single possession since we started watching it, and it seems to have worked relatively well here. Yeah, Myers Leonard is in, so his job will probably be. I mean, that's interesting that he's in, because why are you so worried about protecting the basket? I don't really get that. They just wanted more size. Here's Bogdanovich trying to create. Oh, and then it gets tipped away. The long arms of Derek Jones, I think, got a piece on it as they tried to get it to Fox, and then it goes off Fox's hand, and that's going to do it. Barring some complete fail on the inbound here from Miami.
Yeah, and from what I could tell, this isn't something that needs to be reviewed. I think it was pretty clear that it went off Fox last.
Oh, he throws it in.
There's
Hield
the
has
fail.
got it. Here's the three from Bogdanovich, blocked by James Johnson, and Miami holds on. They had a timeout left. How do you not take the timeout there? Oh, man. And great job by Hield getting it to Bogdanovich, but the incredible reaction from James Johnson, who is the big hero here. What a block on Bogdanovich. Nunn controls the rebound, and that'll do it. I mean, that was just great awareness by James Johnson to get there that quickly after just that completely moronic turnover. I guess it's not technically over yet.
Also, the other game's on commercial, so we're fine.
Yeah, Nunn. They do have a timeout left, so he needs one of these to ice it, and that'll do it. Let's switch back. Oh, man. All right, well, now we have an entire other game to go.
Well, we'll see.
I'm reminded of why we don't do this. So what time did we start? We've already been doing this for 2 hours?
No, I think it's been like an hour 20. Just feels like 3 hours. I'll get the score thing when we're ready to do it. Just a quick catch up for where we are. Boston has taken 4 3-pointers and only made one of them. That one make was by Gordon Hayward. The Lakers have only attempted one, which Danny Green made. I believe that was a 4-point play because he got fouled on it. I saw that kind of out of the corner of my eye. 13 points even. Only bench player who's come in for the Lakers is Kuzma. Boston's played their starting five. They might start to make a change here.
Yeah, and the Lakers are 5 of 7 from the field, but have 4 turnovers. That's what's kept it even. And Boston has taken 6 more shots than the Lakers already. They also have 4 offensive rebounds to 0 for LA. So Boston winning the possession game, losing the shooting game right now.
Oh, somebody noted Harden 1 for 17 from 3 tonight. Whew. How much negative value is on Dedmon's contract right now? I don't think there's that much.
Well, for us or for the league? Because he's not playing on a terrible team
Yeah.
or a bad team. Not a
I mean, to me, even if he's kind of like a, maybe a taxpayer mid-level, like a $4 to $5 million guy, that would be about.
Yeah, I mean, if he's not even a backup center.
Well, yeah, if he's not even a backup center.
So, I mean, I haven't seen him play enough this year to say, like, oh, he's cooked all of a sudden.
I've watched, when I've seen him, I mean, the other part is he hasn't played enough for me to necessarily.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right, so we're back here. You want to get the
Yeah,
camera?
I'm going to do it right now.
So Gordon Hayward along the baseline. They tried to actually set a play up, it looked like, off of that jump ball, but he threw it into Kuzma's butt. He was all over Kemba Walker. LeBron backdoor. Avery Bradley almost with the dunk. Bradley, a pretty good cutter. He beat Marcus Smart, who had his eyes on LeBron. Now Walker, Tice switched onto by LeBron and helped defense. Hayward on the drive, and there's zero help from LeBron that time, as McGee came out there to try and get the corner on Smart, and Hayward just went right past him. So I think a lot of that was McGee, and then LeBron didn't react a second time himself. McGee fumbles it at the elbow. Bradley trying to recover, and does. 4 Celtics in the front court. Green's 3 in and out. LeBron offensive board tipped away from Brown, and he's going to get a foul call on Jaylen Brown.
And LeBron has only taken 1 shot from the field, but has 5 assists already in the first 6 minutes of the game.
Yeah, and Gordon Hayward, he's up to 8 points right now already. First free throw good from LeBron. LeBron apparently feeling a little soreness in that right leg somewhere. He generally eschews the tights.
And, I mean, in some ways, maybe good for his minutes restriction. Anthony Davis had 2 early fouls. That's why he's out of the game before that 7-minute stint ended.
There's the drive from Tice, but he blows the layup. Good help that time from LeBron as the low man. And then Bradley tried to cut, but LeBron's pass was a little bit too hot for him. 5 assists already for LeBron.
And the Lakers already have 4 blocked shots in the early going.
Here's Walker. Good job by Bradley getting through the screen. Swinging to the weak side. Hayward. 2 guys on him. Now Brown attacking McGee. Euro steps through the lane. Tripped by LeBron. And did that go in?
It did. It hit off the front of the rim, bounced, and went in.
What a play. Brown returning after missing time with, I believe it was a sprained right thumb. And good job by him attacking McGee just with a straight hard dribble. McGee might want to give him a little bit more space in that matchup.
And we should mention, LeBron does have those 5 assists, but he also has 3 turnovers already. And that's a foul on Daniel Tice aggressively going for the free throw rebound.
Post up LeBron against Hayward. He's got the size advantage. Goes right through him. Lays it in easily. And just got to get more help there if you're Boston. And we'll see. I mean, they did not double team. And, Brad Stevens obviously has Hayward with a nice move. But McGee gets him from behind. Here's the push from Bradley. And they're going to say he stepped out of bounds, interestingly enough.
I think his heel got it.
Apparently.
That's JaVale's 3rd block of the game.
Yeah, JaVale is certainly one of the more feast or famine players in the NBA, to be sure. Let's watch this left foot of, yeah, you
Yep,
got him.
got it. Right call.
Great,
And I
great
think
job.
the ref has the angle on that because they're usually standing on the baseline on the opposite side.
Yep. KCP is in. Good job by McGee switching onto the first cutter, but then Cantor goes right down the lane as well. Excellent play design there, where Cantor got inside position on Bradley. He and Kuzma miscommunicated after McGee was forced to take that cutter. KCP, foul line jumper is good. If he could stop obscuring that counting shot clock, though, I'd appreciate it. Walker right back with his three-pointer. And just a quick screen away as Bradley just turned his head and completely lost him. Here's LeBron going right at Cantor. Cantor with the stop. Looked close to a foul with the left arm of Cantor, but none was granted. No, he did a good job of staying high, and he got all ball.
Yeah, it was nice.
If anything, that might have been Boston ball. KCP out the screen. They switch on him, so they have to inbound deep to half court. LeBron, now it's trying to come off the screen. That leaves Bradley space in the lane, but he misses the floater. Yeah, sometimes if you'll hear me saying the names of guys who don't have the ball, that's because it's who I'm looking at. I think who's the play is going to be for. So if you're struggling to keep up with that, usually when I say the guy's name, he doesn't have the ball, I'm looking there because I think something's about to happen with him. And something just happened with KCP fouling Marcus Smart.
Non-shooting foul, those. But they're in the bonus. They'll be 2.
Back to the idea of guarding LeBron in the post. I don't think they really have anyone who can do it. Do you?
No, I mean we've done a few Boston games recently, and that's been a problem for them against some of those stronger wings and bigs. And I mean LeBron's such a good passer that you have to be very cognizant of where that help comes from. But conceding those baskets can be really tough, especially if you're asking smaller.
Wait, look at man, DeMarcus Cousins injured, just man spreading like crazy on the bench next to Bradley. He's just like slammed up against the scorer's table.
It's fantastic.
Or it's not the scorer's table, it's some other table.
Oh, but that's Ojale.
Yeah, I guess he might be the best guy in the post. Here's KCP with that left-handed sweep pass from LeBron along the baseline, tying it at 24. And KCP, I mean, he's been in the closing lineup for the Lakers a lot, and he's outplayed Avery Bradley, maybe even outplayed Danny Green.
Yeah, and did a nice job there using Gordon Hayward's attention to LeBron against him. That's how KCP got open.
Smart missing the floater. Smart had 11 three-pointers in their game over the weekend, and that time LeBron able to wrong foot Cantor, and he's a couple of times he's gone to the twisting layup, and Quinn Cook and Danny Green both enjoying the Euro step pantomime on the sideline. Smart as they'll switch that screen. Hayward trying to post up on Caruso. Cantor missed him. Now they get it into him in the post. 9 on the clock. Hayward finds space, and he saw the footsteps of Howard, and I guess we're going to stay here as Howard was out of bounds, but good defense from Howard.
And good defense by Caruso, too. I thought Caruso slowed Hayward down enough. He did concede that kind of move towards the basket, but by that point, help was there.
Yeah, and it's not really Boston ball to go into the post mismatch that much, but with the Lakers switching, they felt like that was the option. And it looks like infection control here for Caruso.
Yeah, we kind of ended up going through all the games. The Knicks ended up winning by 20 over the Cavs. OKC by 5 over the Rockets. Milwaukee by 13, over the Chicago. And I think that was about it for this time slot. Oh, and Orlando beat Hornets by 23.
In Charlotte, right?
In Charlotte.
Yeah, Orlando, a bunch of walking wounded there. This TJ Augustin is out for a while. They're missing, of course, John Isaac, and still winning very comfortably. Evan Fournier, 26 points and plus 34 in the game. Not bad. All right, we're back here. Lakers in a little zone. Frank Vogel, not a huge fan of that. But out of the sideline, out of bounds situation, Smart creating the space on Caruso. Yes! Marcus Smart, man. I mean, we saw it on Thursday against Milwaukee. Then over the weekend, I mean, he's like becoming a real threat from out there. And you consider his defense, what a value that $12 million contract has become. Rondo is back now after missing a few. Along the baseline, KCP, it's too deep for him. Caruso, record scratch, but then drives in. And the tip from Kuzma. And that was a nice finish from Kuzma.
Yeah, no one caught him. There was a bunch of congestion under the Celtics side of the basket, and Canner went over to Dwight Howard, I believe.
He's so close to matching his hair color to the jersey. Why not just go like one shade darker? Rondo, pick and roll with Howard. Fake spin, passes off target. Kuzma loads up anyway and misses, but that's part of why he missed it, was because the pass wasn't that good. KCP tries to drive on Smart, who just knocks it away. Great hands. KCP working hard to get away from Smart. What defense from Smart? And KCP hits it anyway. Amazing.
And Marcus Smart jumped 3 times in like about 2 seconds, and none of them could have been really made into fouls just because of when he timed it.
Lakers still in the zone here, you think? No, looks like a man-to-man. Jaylen Brown creates space at the foul line, and it's in and out.
Yeah, good job using his hip. But I mean, you still want better shots than free throw line jumpers when possible early.
Kuzma pick and roll going at Cantor, and he knocks it out of bounds after missing the floater. See, to me, Kuzma, take another dribble, try the Euro step, try to attack into Cantor's body. Like you're letting him win with the floater. Right? He's not a great rim protector. All right, we should tell people about bookies.com here for the first time this evening.
Absolutely. What I like most about bookies.com is that it is a way to get information. You and I provide information, but they are better at about converting that information into something that you can use. So whether that is the insight of Mark Stratman or just having a live updating thing that says the spreads and the payouts at all these different legal outlets, it's a fantastic resource.
Yeah, if you are somewhere where sports betting is legal, I encourage you to check them out. That you can click through for the best possible deals on sports betting. You can look at all the different sites as Danny was talking about. So follow them at Bookies on Twitter or go to bookies.com. Learn and earn.
Should the NBA consider retraction? I'm guessing they mean contraction when only a third of the teams are contenders. No, I think a third of the teams is totally fine. I actually think too many teams make the playoffs. If there were an ideal system that would do it, but no, I think it's not a problem, and there is enough movement within the bad to the good, I think, to make it totally fine. I would actually be in support of a small expansion, but only if they reduce the number of games.
Where is Kuzma value when converted to win now asset? Is it closer to Reggie Bullock or Davis Bertans? I think it's higher than Bertans.
I would say so too. I mean,
considering the youth, the less money, the fact that he's not about to be a free agent.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a bigger thing, is that Bertans can leave, or you're going to have to pay him a ton. So I would say his value exceeds Bertans by a fair amount.
Yeah, and Bertans is doing a nice job for the Wizards this year, but it's not like he's starting on a playoff team or anything.
Yeah, well, and I mean, that's maybe Bertans has. I think Kuzma, I'd probably say he's about the same defensively as Bertans, maybe a little better one-on-one. Bertans kind of does a little more hustle stuff. And it depends what you need. If you need someone to score, if you need someone to just space the floor for you, but I would probably be closer to saying they're pretty equal in value. But around the league, I don't think it's close.
I don't either. Oh, that's an interesting one. How did you learn the CBA? Did you mainly rely on CBA FAQ, or did you work with the actual CBA? What's your suggestion? I learned a lot of it from the CBA itself, but Larry's Larry's work at CBA FAQ was a nice resource. What I would do sometimes is if I was confused by something, I would go to the FAQ, try to figure it out, and then Larry, to be honest, was a great resource for me outside of it. I would just ask him questions. I was fortunate I was working for Real GM at the time, and so I was asking. Also, they have some great staff too, and so but I mostly it was reading the CBA.
Here's smart backdoor Tatum. He beat Caruso, but Howard was there to erase it and then force a terrible fadeaway, but Cantor cleans up late in the clock.
And Tatum in the early going, we've only seen one of them, but 0 for 3 from the field.
He really struggled to find looks against Milwaukee on Thursday. Here's Kuzma backdoor. Good help from Cantor. Passes arrive, but Caruso corrals it. Can't get the three. Howard on the glass gets it stripped. They throw it off the back of Tatum, but he recovers, goes into Rondo. Open three in the corner for Brown is off. Cantor killing him on the offensive glass again. Howard with the goaltend, and you can see the physicality of Enes Kanter on the offensive glass, and Boston gets the 2-for-1.
Yeah, and remember when we started, Boston had a significant offensive rebounding advantage. Now it's 6-3 in favor of the Celtics.
Howard operating at the elbow. They screen away for KCP. He gets to the elbow, engages Cantor. Howard posting up deep, and he'll draw the foul.
No call.
No, he didn't. Surprising. Howard certainly thought he'd be going to the line, but he was not, and Boston will hold for one here at the end. Cantor has a post up on Kuzma if they want it. They're going to go that way. Cantor. Howard comes over on the help. He throws it off the bottom of the backboard. Still time for Tatum. Trying to create space on Kuzma into the lane, floats and scores to end the quarter.
And that's why you go early. If you go early, then you actually have a chance to do something on the offensive rebound.
Yeah, I mean, in that situation, there's no reason not to go. Like, if you shoot it with 5, they're not going to have a chance to go the other way. Beautiful floater from Jason Tatum.
So we reach the quarter break, 33-30 for the Celtics. Offensive rating of 127 for Boston already, 115 for the Lakers. And Boston with that they have a 127 offensive rating despite shooting 51% true shooting. And the reason why is because they are dominating the possession game.
Oh, yeah.
They've already forced 6 turnovers, 3 of which were live ball, and then they have 7 offensive rebounds. Leading scorer so far is Gordon Hayward with those 8 points, 3 of 6 from the field, 101 from 3, 101 from the line. Behind him, you have a whole bunch of people, but KCP is, I guess, number 2 by himself with 7 points in 5 minutes.
Yeah, biggest thing that sticks out on the shot chart, 7 of 10 at the rim for the Lakers, 6 of 12 for Boston. So Lakers forcing some misses. That's leading to some of those Boston offensive boards. And Lakers always very impressive around the basket offensively.
I will take some of your questions.
When we say dominating the possession game, according to Cody, it does help offensive rating because, when you say the possession game, it's 2 things. Number 1, turnovers, and number 2, offensive rebounds.
Yeah, and both of those are higher scoring opportunities than just a half court possession.
Well, and an offensive rebound doesn't create a new possession; it
That's
simply
true.
extends it
And gives you a high value opportunity.
So. Yeah, but the turnover thing, I mean, that's usually more about, it hurts your offensive rating if you're turning over a lot, and if the other team is turning it over a lot, then number 1, yeah, as you were saying, you can get more transition opportunities, but number 2, the other team just isn't scoring on those plays. So it's just a question of allowing you to get more shots and free throws than the other team. Usually, if we're saying one team is dominating the possession game, that means they're getting more shooting possessions than the other team is.
How much center do you think JaMychal Green plays in the playoffs? Seems like they do him there, particularly for Houston. As of right now, I think they'll do it fairly frequently. We'll see how much faith Doc has in Harrell and in Zubac, but he could be the victim of them actually upgrading at the 5, and then they'll just try to go a little bit more traditional. Especially like one of the challenges is just how do they want to defend this Lakers team? I mean, it seems like that series will happen at some point, and so you want to make sure you have a center that is comfortable in that matchup, whoever that may be.
Yeah, JaMychal started at the 5 in the playoffs last year, You could see that happening in a small series. I think, though, Houston is the only team that's really going to cause that. Against the Lakers, they will not start JaMychal at the 5. They'll
They could
probably
maybe
go
do it
big to
against the
match up.
Mavericks if that was a series.
Yeah. If they're playing Porzingis at center. But, I mean, I think generally coaches they want to play their centers if it's working. Rondo trying to get some pressure on Smart. Lakers, I think they're in the zone again. Let's see here. Here's a drive from Walker. He's back in. Tim Bontemps reported that he went back. I don't know whether it was to ride the bike or, for whatever reason in the locker room, but he had a sore knee, was questionable coming into today, as was Tatum. LeBron is back, and Smart picks up the foul. I'll be very interested to see here whether Smart can stop LeBron in the post, if that's the route they choose to go. And this is interesting, too, because with Davis on a bit of a different rotation, usually they stagger him and LeBron. They're both in to start this quarter. And they've got the two bigs as well, so this isn't as good. They set the screen across for Howard, and he hooks. Nice play there. Again, they take advantage of Kanter's inability to get through the screen, and LeBron dimes him up right at the basket. Nice play out of the timeout. They want to screen for Tatum here. He shoves off on KCP. No call is made. Pick and roll to the foul line. Howard could not stop it, and it wasn't that amazing, but we talk about this all the time with Boston, how their bigs, after they set the screen, love to basically roll into their own guy so he can't help, and Kanter kind of did that there. It's KCP double pump, not really in rhythm for that one.
Double pumped into a more contested shot.
Pick and roll, Kanter. Tatum off the dribble 3. Yes, he's shooting 36% on off the dribble 3s. That is a very good number. You see why right there.
Yeah, and they've been relying on him in this unit for offense, and he's done a good job so far in this quarter.
Here's Rondo, and this is a very shooting-challenged group for the Lakers, and not a lineup I'd say makes a ton of sense to me. If you're going to have AD and LeBron and Rondo and Howard all out there, I like Rondo a little better when you're going with AD at center. If you want to post up AD, you don't really have the spacing to do that. And considering that you've got another center on the floor, you can go with AD posting up against, a Tatum-sized guy in theory. But without a lot of spacing, it's tough to do that. What are they reviewing here?
I do not know.
Challenge! Sorry, I can't maintain my usual enthusiasm here. Let's see. Oh, he hit him right in the face, so it's a potential flagrant. Yeah, that's flagrant 1. Yeah, that left. I mean, there's not really a wind up, but what is he doing? He's not even
the ball wasn't close.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's just he
was swinging for the ball.
Maybe he thought he was swinging down for the ball.
He missed it by a lot.
I mean, that's pretty reckless, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a flagrant 1 there. Didn't actually get a ruling that I can see, and yes, it is a flagrant 1 finally. As they zoom out, you can see there's no one on the lane line. It's been a quick burst to start the quarter for Boston. Davis returning. I can't remember how many games. There's 5 or 6 games that he's missed. Yeah,
it's 5.
5, yeah, because they went 4-1.
Yeah, after that scary fall.
Here's LeBron at range against Smart. They tried to screen away for Davis, but Smart knocked it away from LeBron. Now they're going to the pick and roll, swing it to the weak side, KCP, trying to create space. Good help from Smart off of LeBron. Now KCP has to jack it up again, and he's had to take a couple of difficult contested shots here, perhaps due to the lack of spacing. LeBron forcing Smart towards the baseline. Oh, what a behind-the-back pass!
That was
left-handed behind-the-back pass to Kanter. Oh, man. That was spectacular. Now Rondo switched onto by Ojale. Davis attacks Cantor. So Dan, would you say that the Rondo being out these last few games basically equals Davis also being out?
That's gorgeous.
What a look!
And getting it into the pocket too. And no, not quite, but
and we're gonna get an and one for Davis.
Straight up missed what happened there.
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, I don't mind seeing that left-handed behind the back pass again. I'll give those. You know, we usually complain about that, but I'll give him a break on this one. Yeah, we'll show this again here. Yeah, LeBron actually. So that's 2 fouls that he's drawn on Smart here in the first 2:21. Both of them came from posting up. Oh, Walker splitting the pick and roll. Cantor underneath. Nice job by Davis. Circling back off of his man, Ojale. Ojale not having the gravity.
And that's also where having 2 bigs on the floor does really provide value, because Howard was able to get out there on Kemba without sacrificing all of your rim protection, and that's what led to that ball going out of bounds.
And
it's a foul on KCP.
And good job by Walker,
Rondo,
just stepping out of bounds to make them make that call.
Yeah, and a very successful start of that first quarter for Boston when you think about Tatum really holding down the fort against a star-heavy group for the Lakers.
Here's a 3 from Walker against the Lakers zone. So it looks like the Lakers are in a sideline out-of-bounds situation. Have been going zone. Here's AD. What a pass to Howard. He wanted a foul call, didn't get it. Ojale went for the charge and didn't get that either. AD has subtly added the passing to his game over the last 2 or 3 seasons. Lakers looking like they're in a zone again. 3 from Tatum off the dribble. Yeah, 2 in a row. He's cashed out there off the dribble threes. And Boston maintaining a steady advantage. Here's Rondo again. 2 screeners come up for him. No advantage gain the first time. They go under. And what are we going to get here? Offensive foul on Howard.
Moving screen, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just a beautiful pass from AD right there.
And Detroit got fouled.
Yes, he did. Yeah, Tatum seems much more comfortable going to his left as a 3-point shooter off the dribble. They go back to the zone again here. Calling it out. High pick and roll, Walker. And they're going to get the same illegal screen going the other way on Tice.
In Boston so far, they have attempted 7 more shots than the Lakers and have an even number of free throw attempts. That's the difference in the possession game.
3rd foul on Tice. Brad Stevens, usually a shoes, taking his guys out for foul trouble. Corner, Rondo. Tough to get it into AD. Now they finally do. Goes through on Tice, gets him in the air, and how is that not a foul? Instead, it's a 3 from Rondo that goes down. I mean, the guy just landed on AD. I don't know how they didn't call a foul.
Yeah, it was on somebody. They don't cancel out.
More Lakers zone. Tatum fading away. I mean, that's just such a terrible shot right there. Like, that's what he's got to get rid of. Now Rondo pushing it. Floats up the layup, and he curls it in as he crashes into the cameras. Smart wants the screen from Tice. He curls into the lane. No advantage gain. They swing it. KCP gambles for the steal. Didn't get it. Tatum almost throws the pass away. Smart going to have to create. Gets it to Tatum. Double team by Rondo. Good double team from Rondo. And they force an impossible shot. But the rebound to Ojale. Oh, AD spikes it. Here come the Lakers. Throw it ahead. KCP fights up the layup, but he can't get it against Walker. Now another loose ball. Smart recovers. 4 on 3. Smart's 3 at the top. Off. Oh, no box out from Howard on Ojale. Here's Walker on the drive. Doesn't try Howard. Tatum's 3. This has been a mad scramble that ends finally with Jason Tatum's 3rd 3-pointer of the quarter.
Yeah, I believe that's 11 for Tatum in the second already.
I spilled my tea. This is a disaster. But fortunately, there was a timeout for me to deal with that issue. Got the paper towels right here. Back when I was a bachelor, this coffee table was basically like my dining room table. So some paper towels still remain here. We got any questions?
Was Pelinka deserving of an extension, or was the Lakers' success simply due to AD and a motivated LeBron? I definitely think it's more the latter than the former. I think they could have just waited, and it doesn't seem from what we've seen, it doesn't seem like it was Pelinka's master sales craft that is the reason LeBron James joined the Lakers, especially when you consider the team that was around the team that was around him last year. So no, I think you end up being more patient with it than that.
Yeah.
And
we talked about that on the pod pretty extensively.
We did.
Yeah.
What's behind Alex Caruso having the second best defensive RPM in the NBA?
Well, he's not Rajon Rondo.
Yeah, that's a big part.
That actually really helps.
A lot of it is you try to compare players relative to their replacements and to who they play with, and so I think it's giving Caruso a lot of credit for this. This is something I'm a little bit skeptical, incidentally, about with Jason Tatum as well. It's like, okay, they're better when he's on the floor. Is that because of that player? And so I think Caruso is getting the lion's share of that. And Caruso is a capable defender for his position, absolutely.
Can the Rockets do anything to stop their pending doom?
Doom!
What is that from?
I'm trying to remember. Something.
It sounds like just some like 80s. Like it sounds like a Monty Python, like at the end of the Holy Grail. I mean, it's not. That's not what it's actually from, but it's like just some guy who says like doom over and over again.
What can they do? I mean, having more options, that kind of forward slot would be really helpful. I thought a healthy Eric Gordon would help more than it has in terms of the won-loss record since he got back. But I mean, what is the? I mean, they're not going to be. It's hard to imagine a realistic move without make them favorites over the best playoff teams in the conference. And another thing that could help the perception is if they end up with a better seed. I think they could do a little bit better depending on how things break out. Oh, it's Futurama. There we go. Because that would make sense as a place that I saw it. It could be other things too. Has Enes Kanter actually gotten better this season, or am I just saying it because I'm a Celtics fan? Anecdotally,
I mean, I think he was pretty good in the playoffs last year too, especially before he hurt the shoulder.
Yeah, and he's sometimes what happens in the time of players, after they get into the league, they start to get a little bit better defensively. You sand off some of the rough edges, but he's still imperfect. But yeah.
All right, I don't want to get any more shit for Manscaped ads being on. Though I don't think I actually did any of those. They were just like inserted ads on the Hollinger Pod, but they're on like a national TV station. So like let's not give me too much shit for it. It's clearly like a mainstream product at this point. Danny Green can't create space on Hayward. Rondo attacks. Lays it up, not there. That's more of the Rondo finishing that you expect. Push from Smart. Tatum throws it back out. Smart. Tatum again. Rondo switching onto him nicely. They're going to try and post up Kanter. No, they wave him away instead. I don't know why. Now just a terrible looping pass that goes nowhere. Ojale has to create on AD. And a little short. Kanter beasting again and scores. Yeah, I think Boston is winning the Kanter trade-off right now. As far as taking advantage of his defense, the Lakers aren't a huge spacing team. Oh, there's the deflection. Yeah, and Tatum's going to dunk this one. He's having a wonderful second quarter.
Yeah, I believe that's 13 for him in this quarter. Parallels of the last Celtics game we did when Kemba Walker had 0 points in the first and 20 in the second. I believe Tatum had 2 points in the first and Howe has 13 in the second.
Question on Twitter using the hashtag NBAcast. Will the Milwaukee Bucks reach 70 wins? They have room for only 6 losses the rest of the year.
I think they'll tone off the gas pedal a little bit once they clinch the Eastern Conference and the number 1 overall seed. They can win even with their foot off the gas, but That's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like Bud definitely takes it easy. Um, I mean, to me, if I'm trying to keep Giannis, I might like if you're like, yeah, we're only the third team ever to win 70 games. How can you leave us? Like, even if they don't win the championship, I kind of think that might have a little currency. Their schedule gets really difficult in March, although
Right.
it's pretty cake until then.
Hypothetically, what do you think the Rockets could get in a trade for James Harden?
Yeah, I mean, if they just like lose in the first round this year,
I'm gonna lay out what Harden's contract is. I'm just looking at. I know it's very similar to Russell Westbrook's, but I don't have
yeah,
that
it's
number.
not as much actually, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I mean, so the benefit of Harden is the. I mean, granted, he wouldn't be in D'Antoni's system presumably, but his presence can make a team a very good offense. We have seen that with a large difference of variety of supporting cast members, and we've seen it in different coaching systems a little bit over time. Okay, so Harden's contract after this year, 2 years and 85.6 million locked in, and then he would have a $47.4 million player option for the following season. That I would say is a positive value contract. We'll see how the last year is because assume players always do the right decision on their player option.
Yeah, well, it's also positive value because you get a player who is like a championship level number one in theory.
Yes. And so that makes all of
on
you
your
can
team.
have more support players. So, I mean, matching salary with him is probably going to get you a lot in return. I mean, there are some teams like the Blazers that have enough.
Well, it's more a question of just who is a team who's going to be competing once you get James Harden that also has a lot of assets.
Yeah, it's hard to do.
In the Lakers, to have LeBron and have all the young guys that they had, and to then get the number 4 pick last year, that's a somewhat unique situation. The Clippers having all the assets that they had, somewhat unique situation for a team that's going to acquire a guy and then be a contender right away.
I mean, theoretically,
New Orleans, not that they would trade Zion.
I mean, I was thinking of the Sixers, something involving Simmons, but they don't have enough other stuff.
Yeah, Sixers have a lot of ammo, though.
Yeah.
They do. I mean, they got matching salary, so
A Harden Embiid team would be really hard for me to process mentally. And we are back.
Caruso is back in. So is Avery Bradley. So is Kuzma. Kuzma fading at the foul line. He's tripped by Tatum, they're going to say. This is a great comment. I started reading it and I was like, this isn't very complimentary. You all have Marv Albert's inability to follow games and Chris Webber's embarrassing inability to retain Brad Stevens' name. To thank for my viewership.
Yes.
I was like,
What a
are you
twist.
saying that's us? Like we're combining like the worst aspects of Marv. And
Well,
Chris Webber?
there was a great one years ago on Real Jam Radio where I can't remember for the life of me. I think it was Jaleel Okafor who I said had Marc Gasol's offense and somebody else and somebody else's defense, and the person said, "Don't you mean the other way?" And I'm like, "No." I'm trying to remember who the other guy was. It was fun though.
Cantor, who's played very well, he's back in for Tice with the foul issues. Walker has been gutting through this knee injury as well, but that's Jaylen Brown in the lane, and he again showing the patience as Caruso undercut him there. The patience that Jaylen Brown has acquired over the last year or so off the pick and roll has really been the biggest addition to his game.
A quick update of a game I would probably be keeping a closer eye on if we weren't doing the live show. 22-22 Nuggets Wolves. Towns has 10 points and 2 assists. Jokic 2 points and 3 assists.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to locking in the Wolves a little bit more over the next couple of weeks. Get an idea of how some of their trade pieces are playing and also see how Towns looks now that he's returned and how he's going to fit back into a team that wasn't atrocious without him. Kuzma, he's doing a lot of bringing the ball up, interestingly enough. You've got LeBron out of the game again. Tatum with yet another deflection, but it goes back into the backcourt. Caruso still has 10 to work with. Drives by him. Smart coming over to help. And what are you going to get? A foul here? That was not a good foul from Boston. They bailed him out. He had nowhere to go.
Yeah, and Smart had position and then moved to his right to try to contest it a little bit more, and I think that's where the problems came.
He
got ball.
also was clean there. I don't know if they got Tatum on the foul from behind, but I thought Smart. It's so interesting because you thought he was going to flop there for the call, and instead he went for the ball and he got it, but they called the foul on him. Oh, we're getting the Caruso jam montage here.
They're trying to goose his fan voting numbers.
Yeah, and they did actually call Tatum on that foul, not Smart.
Okay, that's better.
So and asked if we'd be doing a better job calling the game courtside. I wouldn't see it as well, the game as well courtside.
I think it'd be harder.
Yeah, I would, but also we'd actually hear the whistle. It's sometimes
Overrated.
I mean, I think we do a pretty good job just telling when a foul has been called, but we don't have any sound on our feed here. Now Kuzma tried to push it, he got it taken away again. Lakers have turned it over like crazy in this quarter. Caruso pick and roll. They're laying way off of him. Now they want to get Kuzma. Oh, almost a steal again from Hayward. Kuzma going in, and they lose it. So we're getting our first minutes with AD at center now. Still no LeBron, but AD couldn't hold on.
And that was, I believe, the 9th turnover for the Lakers, yeah. And 4 of those have been live ball.
Walker, pick and roll from Cantor. Gets caught in the air, has to throw it to Brown. They get it right back. Going one-on-one against Bradley. Tough step back with 8 on the clock. Rims in. Here's Davis attacking Cantor. Oh, they got stripped. Man, these Boston hands have been devastating here in the first half. Lakers lucky to recover a lot of these deflections. Davis works into position over Cantor. Interesting strategy from Cantor. He didn't really body him, but it worked out. Now here's Walker. Gets Caruso in the air. Cantor's pump fake, and it goes. Nice play by Walker. The threat of his three-pointer just simply even slightly slowing down.
And also Caruso. AD being the only rim protector and being behind the play. That really screwed the Lakers.
Avery Bradley long 2 goes in, but Boston will live with that shot. Hayward, nice in and out dribble on Caruso into the lane, and he's going to be hacked by Alex Caruso, who's had a couple of fouls here recently. LeBron is going to come back here as Hayward misses the first free throw. Always enjoy when you guys get into some respectful debates.
Absolutely.
In the comments. It's fun to get a little community going here. Hopefully you guys can enjoy each other as well as our commentary, as long as you're not mean to each other. Is Robert Covington the biggest name likely to be traded at the deadline?
I don't think he's getting moved at the deadline.
Yeah. Bradley, LeBron in the post.
Is it Hassan
working
Whiteside?
Against, is that Ojale? No, it's Brown. And LeBron goes right through him for the easy layup. No help came from Cantor, who was worried about McGee coming in on the weak side. And it's tough. Cantor just doesn't have the speed to get over there with LeBron backing down so methodically, and then the quick spin move. Smart. Now Walker. He's got McGee on him. Puts him in the mix. Drives. Gets him in the air. Foul. McGee can't believe it, but it seemed a clear foul to me. Yeah, he says he got all ball, but once you get pump faked in the air like that, yeah, I mean.
The ball hit his chest first. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is like, a lot of times referees are reffing the play that they've seen a million times, and so Walker gets him in the air, he jumps, they're looking, really anticipating that there's going to be a foul. So anything that looks like a foul is more likely to be called in that situation.
Absolutely. And these are Kemba Walker's first free throws of this game. He's 4 for 7 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3, and now getting his first shot at the line.
Excellent first half for Boston. They have struggled in first halves and first quarters lately. The second quarter has been good. Now they're double teaming LeBron.
What a pass!
Here's Kuzma, and McGee blows the hook. That was a sick pass. And now we're going to get McGee for another foul.
The story for me of that pass is the velocity. Like to throw at that angle and have it be like a bullet is unbelievable. Whew. I that's just incredible.
$11-point Boston advantage. More free throws. The over the backbreaker from McGee. I noted this the other day as they lost to Orlando at home. I really think Howard should be, if they're going to have a center to close out halves, that Howard, to me, is just better than McGee. I think McGee's made a little better offensively, but Howard is just so much better defensively and makes so many fewer mistakes.
Yeah, and I think the mistakes part of it is also important because ending quarters, you're almost always going against another team's starters. And so if you make mistakes, the other team will be more positioned to exploit it.
Avery Bradley always struggles off the dribble, and yet another deflection for Boston. I mean, they've probably gotten, 15, 20 deflections here in this
bunch.
First? Yeah. Boston looks like they're in the zone now in this sideline out of bounds situation. Get it into Bradley. Kuzma attacks Kanter and dunks it easily. And that's, again, Enes Kanter, any kind of movement in space, he can easily be wrong-footed. 2 screens for Walker. Gets past McGee. Low along the baseline. 3 for Brown. Is there. Over Danny Green, who's been quiet. Now they throw it ahead to him, though. Lakers going back to McGee on the alley-oop. Nice finish. And Avery Bradley, not known for his passing, as Walker got picked off and then Kanter could not keep McGee in front of him. He felt like he had to step up. Here's Hayward right back. Kanter on the offensive glass. Pump fake. Goes through 2 guys for the layup. Enes Kanter dominating on the offensive glass in this first half. LeBron backing down on Smart. Pick and roll McGee. He's got him rolling to the rim. Danny Green did not space out to the corner in time, so they'll have to reset. Here's Kuzma against Braun. Not really an advantage matchup. Has to go to the floater. No call is made. That was a tough borderline one. Walker going in. Oh, he missed it by Kanter again. Kanter really, and he just runs faster than JaVale McGee. JaVale McGee was tired. Kanter started the play behind him and just sprinted to the glass faster than McGee did.
And that is a 46% offensive rebound rate for the Boston Celtics so far in this game.
Yeah, and Kanter is going to get called for the foul. There's a couple of times that he's felt like he's gotten the strip. Couldn't see whether that, in fact, was clean or not.
46% offensive rebound rate is bananas.
I mean, well, the Lakers are a team that plays 2 bigs in theory.
Yeah.
I mean, now Davis hasn't played much. That's been a big part of it. But McGee, LeBron, Kuzma, those guys have not done a good job of gang rebounding. And obviously, Kanter is a wonderful offensive rebounder.
Yeah, but even in the first part of the game before we got in it, 4 of Boston's 5 starters, none of whom are Enes Kanter, all had offensive rebounds.
Yeah, 13 offensive rebounds, 6 for Enes Kanter. He's got 18 points, and he's plus 20. Lakers back within 14. I do suspect we're going to see a Laker run here in the second half, though. Walker gets Green on him. Green trying to direct the ball, cannot. Walker gets in the middle of the lane. Bradley with the help defense. Kuzma controls. LeBron ahead of the field. Both.
That was a tip by Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, Jaylen Brown.
Oh, they're saying he didn't tip it.
Let's see if we can catch this.
It looked to me like Jaylen Brown hit it.
It sure did. Well, this angle should tell us. Avery Bradley, not known for his help defense, with a nice defensive play. Yeah, that hit Brown. I'm almost certain it did. Let's see. This will tell us. Yeah,
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, challenge? Challenge? Challenge! I
mean,
might challenge here because you also can get a 2-for-1 here.
Yeah, so it is a decent swing. It doesn't take points off the board or add them to the board, but it gives you an opportunity.
Yeah, they did reverse the call. It's deep in the corner. They get it into McGee. Grant Williams now is the center for Boston. LeBron, he was going to back this out on Williams and go to work. You can tell it. Wants the 2-for-1. Waited a little bit too long though. He was getting ready to go into his arrogant.
He wanted the Festus Ezeli.
Yeah, but then he realized that he couldn't just style around and try to embarrass the rookie. But they really was too late. They only have a 2-second differential. Celtics would do well to run the time all the way down here. McGee, pick and roll. Oh, nice cut from Smart, but then he thought Hayward would be in the corner. Now, he didn't even throw it to the corner anyway, so I think it was a bit of an error. So 3.8 left. You want to inbound it pretty far ahead here. McGee. Oh, yeah, he wants this for half court.
Oh, that was close.
Oh, man. You know he was enjoying every second of that.
Steve Kerr just had a cold shiver go down his spine, and eventually he'll find out why.
No, he may never, actually. All right, I'm going to take a quick break here, and we'll do talk a little halftime after this.
Yeah. Does Milwaukee need one more shooter or sizable wing player more for a wing run? Oh, so that's interesting. So which of those is a bigger issue? I would love to see them get one more wing defender. I think that, it isn't as much of an issue in the Eastern Conference, but if the Bucks are defining success as winning an NBA championship, I think that's something that they'll really need. Another shooter would help, but I think that the wing is more important. Always seemed a little bit fishy how every time refs reverse a call without replay, they get it right. Yeah, I think some of that, there's also could be potentially communication with players or maybe a ref that was on the far side. There are a lot of different things there, but also you can tell pretty obviously, like when you're that close, everybody kind of knows when certain calls are just completely wrong, and so that just gives refs an out. I think that's the type of thing. I don't think it's communication with the league office or anything like that, but there are other ways to find out that a call is incorrect. Do you think that New Orleans should try to trade for Miles Turner to get a stretch big next to Zion? I think that they need a little bit more time to figure out what Zion's defensive position is. Because my instinct, and Sam Vecini and I actually had an extended discussion / argument about this. I think it was pre-draft, might have been post-draft on Real GM Radio. I think Zion's endgame is as a 5. I think that, and so using the resources to get a stretch 5, who generally those guys aren't great at switching, because otherwise they'd be more of a versatile 4. That might be a little premature. So I think it might be where the end game, it might be where you go, but maybe it's best to wait a little bit unless, and this is a big unless, one of those players, and it could be Miles Turner, is undervalued by their current team. And in that case, yeah, absolutely fire away because it's a decent bet that Zion might be a 4. Let me see. Where else we go? Thad Young for Milwaukee. Young is such a reluctant shooter. He is a wonderful defender, but I think he's such a reluctant shooter that it doesn't make a ton of sense for Milwaukee. I think they need to go for a different approach, and their defense is so damn good they don't need somebody else. But I think there are teams that Young can make better. I'm trying to remember, we talked on a trade deadline preview about one team, and I remember Nate had a suggestion which I did like quite a bit. As the current market stands, what do you predict for Gordon Hayward going into the summer? For those who are less in tune with this, Gordon Hayward has a $34.2 million player option. And for me, the dearth of teams that have massive amounts of cap space, and I don't think he has enough leverage on the Celtics. Also, Danny Ainge will not be leveraged to think that he can opt out and make money like off the deal. You could think of a Harrison Barnes situation where the player takes less annual value, but does it to lock up a long-term contract. But the problem is Hayward has $34 million, and so unless he's so scared of an injury nuking his trade value, I think he's going to opt in. And then 2021, remember, is a very flush market as of right now, and not every team is going to get Giannis. In fact, Giannis might already be off the market at that point. So I would think that Hayward could be a beneficiary if he stays healthy there. So I think he's gonna play that out and not be a free agent right now, and be a free agent in 2021. Oh, interesting. Ben Simmons played black at 5 versus the Nets today. Do you think he could do that more in the future? Yes, I think Simmons. He is a very versatile defender. It's something Bodner and I talked about a bunch on Real GM Radio, which came out on Friday. But I don't think rim protection is his best thing. The way to think about Simmons, and this is part of why I separate offensive and defensive role, is I think it's best if he's your worst shooter. But in the modern NBA, there are ways to have a player be your not worst shooter who plays center, because there are lots of 5s that can space the floor. Even 5s that aren't reliable there could still be better than Simmons. So I would lean more that direction, but I'm excited. I might try to watch some of the film of that, because that's something I've been interested in for that. Should the Lakers be going more out of their way on offense to attack Kanter? Yeah, I think so. Kanter has a couple of specific weaknesses. For me, it's making decisions and defending in space, and the Lakers have the players to force him to do those things. And so Kanter, his extremes are so extreme that I think it is worth bucking your normal tendencies a little bit to do that. Especially, remember, this is true of Haka. It's true of that kind of thing. A lot of times the goal of that is not necessarily to score the most points possible in the immediate. It's to get that player out of the game. And since Kanter has been a material positive for them, getting him out of the game is important. So apparently Simmons played some 5 tonight.
Yeah, I saw that actually. It was, I mean, they in the Bucks game they did that and it was terrible for them. Actually.
That's true.
Oh no, sorry, not the Bucks game.
No, it was the one after that.
No, it was the Boston game.
That's right.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that can work as long as the other team doesn't have too much size, and considering that's not.
I don't think Simmons is a great rim protector, but
Yeah.
I mean, he's such a good defender overall.
Yeah, and they force a lot of turnovers if they're playing with a bunch of other guys, and he's a really good roll man. I mean, that's one of the things, and you can really run it down people's throats in transitions with that group too. So, if you would like to ram it down bookies' throats with awesome betting calls, bookies.com is the way to go. The Celtics are now 7.5-point favorites on the live halftime consensus line. The over-under has jumped to 235.5, and Boston is minus 340 on the money line, while the Lakers are plus 260. So you can go ahead, do some legal betting via bookies.com. They've got a conglomeration of all the best legal sports betting, and also all of the information like what we just gave you here. So they also are doing some interesting stuff with our content to take some of the information that we're giving and put a more of a betting lens on it. And they also have the immortal Mark Stratman.
Yeah,
making picks.
We'll have that ready for the next read. But bookies.com/NBA, best sign-up deals, live odds, which is something I really like, and those Stratman expert picks. So you can check it all out, and you can also check at Bookies on Twitter, and then they have the rest up there. And also, generally, if they do something using our content, they will have it on their Twitter handle, so you can follow them there and you can get it.
First half thoughts?
I was very impressed with the basically Tatum-centric lineup at the beginning of the second quarter. Tatum got to some good shots. He's looked so much more comfortable on that off the dribble 3. Enes Kanter just imposing his will. And remember, there are teams where you think, oh man, they don't have anybody who can match up with him. The Lakers play at least one big all the time, play two bigs a fair amount. AD only played 12 minutes, but those 12 minutes, very few of them were at center. So those two things were big for me. And then the Lakers offense, it lacked a little bit of zip for me. Boston does, I mean, they deserve full credit for the defense. But then when I think about it, okay, so a 110 offensive rating, I mean, that's very good. I mean, by giving up a 138 to Boston.
Yeah, I mean, it's really been the defensive glass that's killed them the most.
Absolutely.
Right?
And the Lakers are also turning the ball over a ton. I should have mentioned that's something Boston's defense does very well. Lots of guys deserve credit.
And this is a decent matchup for Enes Kanter. I mean, going back to some of the series that he's had success in, right? Against Denver last year, or the Spurs back in 2015, where they're not playing a lot of spread pick and roll. They're committed to playing two bigs. So there's not as much space on the floor to expose him defensively. It happened a couple of times, but he's a really, really good offensive player. And if you can't just kill him on the other end, he's going to make you pay.
Prime AK-47 or prime Draymond Green?
Oh, Draymond.
Yeah, I mean, Draymond is a different kind of defender, and the kind of defender he is more valuable.
Well, Kirilenko only really had like a couple of years where he was crazy. But the thing about Draymond is, Kirilenko was probably his peer as a help defender, and maybe even better. But he couldn't defend in the post the way Draymond could. He wasn't quite as quick defending on the perimeter. Like, Kirilenko couldn't stop Kobe in some of those series, right? Like that was later, probably beyond his prime when he had to play more three. And Draymond probably a better passer as well. So yeah, I mean, I think it's Draymond was beyond him. I mean, there might be some teams where you'd prefer to have Kirilenko.
Sure,
but
even though Marcus Smart's 3-point percentage isn't the best, does he still provide similar spacing of more accurate shooters because he's still willing to take so many attempts? It is a trade-off between the two. I would say because reputation is often a lagging indicator, he's not providing as much value as those because he doesn't force the same kind of panic, but he's getting better, and I think that could end up benefiting him in the future. But yeah, I mean, if you're comparing him to more accurate but low attempt shooters, like those, like the type that sometimes get overrated as shooters, I think back to like Justice Winslow last year. Yeah, absolutely. But there's another group, and I'm not sure which group the questioner was asking about, that no, just because you shoot a lot doesn't mean you're more respected than good shooters. Shane Battier impressed me on Thinking Basketball. Do you think analytical players like him will become more the norm, or is he an outlier? I haven't listened to that yet. I'm really looking forward to it. The problem in terms of it is that you think about all these selection pressures that exist for an NBA player, NBA athleticism, and the physical caliber shooting, and if a player can also be analytical, maybe it can be more of a tiebreaker, but you still have to be an NBA caliber player, which Shane Battier totally was. And so I don't think you'll necessarily see that much more of it. What I think, then that's why part of what is so great is when teams, meaning the front offices and everything else, coaching staffs, can convert those insights into more accessible things, and that players can use that. Like, I mean, Tony Allen watched on film. There are lots of different ways that players can incorporate that information.
Who's a viable defensive wing trade target for the Bucks? I think who are you gonna say?
Marcus Morris.
Yeah, and I mean, I think they could use. I mean, we talked about it a lot on the
Central.
Yeah, the Central Division preview. Some thoughts about them. Yeah, Kanter was great with Portland against OKC last year too. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's so, and I do think that we're in a very offensive era right now, but the thoughts of who can and can't survive in the spread pick and roll era, it's a little different now with the Lakers. Clippers aren't like a crazy spacing team. you don't have the Warriors team. You don't have Houston back in the early days when they were playing with like Ryan Anderson at the 4. Um, they've got Westbrook now. Harden doesn't even really run traditional pick and roll that much anymore. It's more of the ISO game. So pick and roll defense maybe not as important as it was at one point.
Somebody basically asked, has Kobe White has he met expectations, or given his age and draft position, or has he failed to meet them?
Yeah, I mean, you always hope that this would be about where I would have expected for him.
Yeah.
I mean, and we haven't seen him either. He has played basically no minutes without another point guard on the floor.
And that makes it hard to calibrate, and I am a little bit concerned he's shooting 41% from 2.
Yeah, and he's, I mean, the biggest thing that improves for point guards is rim finishing and turnovers. The two biggest things, I should say. So I expect that to get better for him. And I do, like, he pops from an athletic standpoint. I think his shooting, how much is the ball going to go in for him? That's a big question. I think he competes defensively. He's actually been totally solid defensively for a rookie point guard.
Yeah, I would say for me, I was lower on Kobe White than you were, but I had him in a similar place because I value backup point guards a lot. And so for me, the worst case scenario for Kobe White was that he was a capable backup, and that's still incredibly important in the league. And I think that to me, the idea that he's this like massive game changer is a little toned down. Not gone, absolutely not. But yeah, so it's a little. I would say he's been a little bit lower, but not much. Yeah, Smart is up to 36% over the last 2 seasons on close to 600. Yeah, capable shooter, absolutely. And I mean, considering where he was, that's even more impressive.
So what do you think predictions for the second half? I mean, AD only played 12 minutes, so he should have 16 left to play.
Yeah, and he didn't commit any fouls in the second quarter either, so he's okay there.
Yeah. We'll see how much they play Rondo. I mean, that's something I'll be looking at. What the lineups are with the AD and LeBron as well. If they go with more AD at center. I mean, now going more AD at center, that's a way to really cause problems for that Cantor unit.
Yeah, it can't cause problems for the Celtics defensively, but then Cantor might be able to get something to eat offensively. And there's also way less help at the rim for the Lakers. So if they give up that initial penetration, it becomes a big problem.
Yeah, now we say that, but AD at center, that unit cost them 7 points, and they barely did that. They only did that for 3 minutes, and they were -7 in that time period. And those units really have underperformed, frankly, as we're back here.
Let's see if the Lakers guards can get on the glass a little bit. I could see Vogel emphasizing that at halftime.
Here's Tice looking for Tatum. Good denial from Bradley on the switch. Now it's Davis guarding Walker one-on-one. Gets past him, goes into Green, and that's a good play by Danny Green. Boston just didn't quite have the spacing, and Green came off the strong side corner, and Walker is not the most amazing passer to find Braun in the corner on that play. McGee posting up back to LeBron, swing it to Davis. He's being guarded by Jaylen Brown in the primary matchup here, and Brown is going to get called for a foul on that DHO.
Worth noting that Daniel Tice has 3 fouls. He's picked him up in bunches early in this game. He had 2 first quarter fouls. And so if he gets into trouble, Stevens usually keeps his guys in, but could be a problem.
I don't think that's technically possible if he has 3 fouls to have picked it up in bunches.
Yeah, that's true.
Technically correct is the best kind of correct.
It really is.
Here's Davis off his foot. They gets it knocked away. His timing definitely has looked a little off today. Jaylen Brown couldn't handle the pass, but Walker is wide open for 3 up top, and that's a big first blood for Boston going up 17 against the Lakers here. LeBron, they'll just switch this. Want to get AD in the post against Gordon Hayward, but McGee, I mean, he is not the guy to throw that entry pass. Now he's going for a ridiculous hook shot against Tice, but he scores. Brad Stevens, I think, is willing to concede that, though. Back to 15. Looking for Walker out of the corner. Now Brown goes and gets it instead with Walker being topsided. Nice drive from Brown. Back to Tice. Beautiful pass from Jaylen Brown. Daniel Tice, who shot it well from 3 this year, putting Boston up 18 points. LeBron, he's been quiet tonight. He's got Tatum on his back. Backing down. Help comes from Tice. Alley-oop. What a pass! So good. Tice thought he was just... That's hilarious, Danny. Tice was like, oh, I'm just going to fake over there and get back to my man. And even in faking over there, LeBron got him. Here's Walker right past McGee again. And we saw this against Brook Lopez on Thursday. Walker is so good at getting those bigs a little further out on the floor than they want to, and then attacking the basket. Here's Davis, pick and pop. Yes, he has really struggled shooting the jump shot this year, but that one goes down. Here's Walker again, gets Davis out on the floor, and Davis was lucky not to commit the foul.
Yeah, and Kemba using his body to also shield the ball a little bit and get out of Davis's block radius. Beautiful play.
Looks to me like the Lakers are getting their bigs a little bit further out on the floor than in the first half. Here's AD slipping it again. Tice with the help. Green's 3. Another great pass from Davis along the corner, but the finish not there from Green. Then Bradley goes into 3 guys. Terrible decision as Tice rejects him. Here's Braun accelerating. Corner Hayward. 3 from Tatum, and they're going to get a charge here.
Passing crash? Ugh.
Boring. Yeah, and he didn't even make full contact with him. That's what's so annoying about this, right? Like he barely even brushes him. Like, it's one thing if he's out of control and really runs the guy over. That time they go with a small pick and roll, and Bradley, rather than popping with a nice roll to the basket, and LeBron sets him up beautifully. I mean, it doesn't matter how old LeBron is. He's going to be able to attack that small pick and roll with his passing ability forever. Now Walker resets against Davis. He'll take a deep 3. That's off. Oh, Tice got hit in the face by Green, and we're going to stay right here.
And that's not going to be listed as an offensive rebound, but it is a foul generated in the rebounding action by Daniel Tice's activity.
Yeah, and Green missed the box out on Tice and then compounded the error by hitting him in the face. Jaylen Brown, quick attack. Oh, he dunks on LeBron. No passing crash that time. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and that's now back up to an 18-point lead for the Boston Celtics. Nice finish.
Yeah, LeBron was gearing up for the charge, and Jaylen Brown is like, oh, you're in the restricted area this time. Jaylen Brown, that's one of the better two-hand dunks you're going to see. He just knocked LeBron backwards.
January has been a wonderful month for dunks so far. That will not be in the top 3 as fun as that was. Who is the most valuable of Hero, Nunn, and Duncan Robinson? If we're talking trade value, it's Hero because he has the most room to grow and he has the most favorable contract.
Yeah, and he's a 19.
But if we're talking about value to the team right now,
I'm gonna go Duncan Robinson.
I mean, that kind of shooting at his volume is incredibly valuable. Yeah. And while Nunn, this was something that came up when we were doing the Southeast for the trade preview. While what Nunn does is valuable to the Heat, his value over replacement in that niche is not as high as Duncan Robinson because there aren't that many guys who do what Duncan Robinson does.
So let's tell people about bookies.com here real quickly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
do you get the Stratman?
Oh, we got Stratman.
There we
Fortunately, he did have Lakers over the Celtics.
Oh.
Even at minus 2.5 too. I guess he didn't see the Lakers' too big strategy yielding 50% offensive rebounds to Boston.
But did I see that he had the Pelicans Grizzlies over? Because I'm guessing that did well.
Yeah, that was 237.5. Did he get that?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, it was over 240.
And he's got Golden State plus 6.5 tonight against the Blazers.
Oh, we'll see about that. I don't know which Warriors are available tonight.
Yeah, but whether you agree with Mark's picks or not, bookies.com can, number one, give you awesome information about what the lines are, let you shop your line a little bit. You can also click through there to totally legal, regulated American sports betting should you want to do that, and it's legal in your state. They give you some great deals there. So follow at Bookies on Twitter or bookies.com/NBA for all the latest information.
Sekou Doumbouya upside.
I'm not buying the next Pascal Siakam talk. I don't think he has quite that level of athleticism. But I mean, he's a much more skilled than Siakam at the same age. I mean, at the same age, Siakam was like, a freshman at New Mexico State or something. So,
but yeah, I think for me, I like his positional size and strength. I think he could end up being a very capable wing defender.
yeah,
And potentially a help guy depending on where he's positioned on the floor. And then I don't think he's going to be a super high usage offensive player, but I think he can be very effective within his role.
yeah. I don't know that he's gonna be a pick and roll guy. I don't think he's gonna have much shooting game off the dribble, other than maybe one dribble replace type of threes. Oh man, we get this dunk again.
But remember how rare, like the upside, and that might have sounded uninspiring, but recall how few players can do that.
I mean, defend just about anyone in his position.
Oh, the stare down tech.
Yeah, well,
I think
it is what it is.
Yeah.
I
mean that was a stare down if you're gonna call it for that.
But yeah, I mean, Doumbouya as like solid, he could probably average in the high teens just as a shooter, solid cutter, fast breaks on a fast-paced team, and then to defend his position pretty well, make some plays off the ball. That's a very, very valuable player. There's LeBron. Now he's getting a little angry, it seems, after that Jaylen Brown dunk. We'll see if he's going to respond as the Lakers pull back within 15. Here's a drive from Tatum right past Caruso. And
He overwhelmed the vaunted Alex Caruso defense.
Yeah, Caruso, I mean, he's a very good help defender one-on-one. He's going to be a little overwhelmed by someone like Tatum. There's Tatum making the play at the nail, forces LeBron into a difficult play. Here comes Jaylen Brown right down for another layup, and Boston right back to a 19-point lead here. The possession game once more in favor of the Celtics. Now LeBron switched onto by Walker, but they're taking their sweet time here for him to take advantage of this. Tice is now over in the strong side zone. LeBron just holding it here. Attacks, throws it up top. Bradley, good closeout. What a play by Walker to get all the way over on Caruso. That was really good from Walker. LeBron throws the pass on the right baseline. Two passes are made, and Walker is contesting Caruso. Here's a three from Tatum, and we're up to a 22-point lead, and Vogel is going to stop it once more.
Jason Tatum, I believe that puts him up to 20 points, 4 of 5 from 3. And, I mean, he had that magnificent second quarter. Got in, and they had so much time that he got to dribble and set his feet before taking that shot.
Yeah, and LeBron, it's interesting, especially in these regular season games. Sometimes, he'll kind of get a little mad and try to do a little bit more. But then, when that doesn't work out, then he'll kind of pout and not get back on defense. That happened that time. Or, so someone misses one of the threes that he sets up. I could use some of this Taco Bell now. Once I start, liking what I'm seeing on the fast food commercials, that we've maybe been here a little too long.
Get ready for the playoffs, Nate. Oh, thank you very much to Patch Profit for subscribing with Twitch Prime. That is another way that you can support us, along with patreon.com/Duncan LaRue. We do subscriber-only podcasts. We'll do a mailbag at some point in the next week or so. We do salary cap sheets. Pop those out after the trade really, really quickly, which was fantastic. And whatever else we can do to make the experience better, patreon.com/Duncan LaRue. And then with Twitch Prime, all you do, if you have Amazon Prime, you connect your Amazon and your Twitch accounts, and you get a subscription included within that. If you subscribe to us, we get money somehow.
Yeah, and with the Patreon, that's definitely the best way to support this endeavor for sure, because they don't take nearly as big of a cut out of it as Amazon does, although Amazon is actually pretty much free for you to do. You just have to do it every month. But Yeah, so that's the biggest thing. I mean, we do have the sponsorship this year, but that's kind of it's not an enormous amount at this point. We're kind of at the nascent stages, so it's great to get that Patreon to kind of make this endeavor worthwhile. And once we get into the playoffs, we're going to be doing this probably 4 or 5 nights a week, if not more, with no Warriors home games to go to now. So we'll do as many of these as my sanity will allow.
We'll see. We'll try to find a healthy balance. Lakers overrated, underrated, or properly rated? I think they're properly rated. They're damn good.
I mean, before the year, they were certainly underrated.
I take that as a personal attack, and it is a worthy one.
Well, even me, I think I picked them for like 53 wins, so they seemed like they're gonna be on.
Yeah, but that. I mean, a part of it. I mean, the defense has been way better than I thought. I expected they would have more time missed due to injury, and I thought it would be, like Pelton's talked about this before with RPM and things like that, that generally teams that are put together this way generally take a little bit longer to gel, and that hasn't happened with them. They haven't had those falters. Denver up 55-54 on the Minnesota Timberwolves at halftime. And the Wolves were ahead last time I saw, so I guess there was a run in there somewhere.
Yeah, big game actually tonight. San Antonio and Phoenix, as Phoenix is behind Memphis. I think Phoenix is now 7-4 over their last 11. They've righted the ship after getting a little healthier in the front court, and we're back here. LeBron off of 2 screens. They're going with Davis at center. Troy Daniels is in to try to give him some shooting as Tatum picks up the foul out on the perimeter, trying to get through that screen. He had the left arm on the back of LeBron, hence the call. Let's see if Daniels can get going with some bombing. He was key in their multiple 20-point comebacks against the Magic a few days ago. LeBron, AD, the fear back from Brown knocks it away. Great pass from LeBron under for the dunk, though, as AD had the size advantage on Walker. I mean, these passes from LeBron are just beyond next level stuff. Daniels, the downside with him is he is a extremely weak individual defender. We'll see if Boston tries to attack that at all. Tatum tries to throw the alley-oop, and I think he got fouled, yeah. Yeah, AD got him on the arm as he looked to get it to Tice.
And if they're going to try to put Troy Daniels on Kemba at any real point, I would go after that pretty aggressively.
Yeah, I mean, maybe even more in an ISO than a pick and roll.
Oh, now they have him on Tatum? Oh, that's an easy ISO too.
Yeah, I mean, Tatum is not that great of an ISO player. There's Hayward on the drive, though. And AD, certainly to me, in this first game back, has not been the same defensive force. Not to mention on the boards. Caruso falls down, and he's going to get a foul call on Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, and he was setting a screen and got knocked over. I'm largely okay with that. I think there was enough contact to tip him over.
4th foul on Brown. He's been the victim of a couple of flops here, but had a very nice game on both ends tonight. AD looking for LeBron. Oh, this is going to be wide open, but the pass was terrible. Walker looking to push it. And LeBron, you see, he's not getting back that quickly. There was a bad pass there, but now he's back in position. Boston at a 5-on-4 for time. Here's that ISO you wanted. KCP coming in the strong side zone. Step back 3. Tatum drains it. Again, we have a 25-point game, and we still have 6 minutes left in the third. LeBron against Hayward. Pick and roll AD. Yo-yo dribble. AD tries to finish with the left. Good help from Brown. Disrupted him. LeBron goes right through Hayward. Misses the layup. Another miss. Rebound Tice. Here's the push from the Celtics again. Hayward attacking Daniels. Tatum, good closeout from KCP. Good closeout from Caruso. Doesn't matter. Walker floats.
And Kemba had such a great sense of space there, knowing where he had the opportunity for the giant killer, and that AD didn't come out hard enough. Beautiful.
Yeah, 12-point advantage over these last few minutes for Boston. Another miss from LeBron. That's where you see the biggest slippage in his game, is that finishing at the rim. Brown looking for the killer 3 that could have put him up 30. LeBron leaves it for Caruso. Trying to get a little bit more energy on the floor right now. KCP, nice close by Walker again. Walker has pretty good speed with those closeouts. AD rips through, and Tice will pick up his 4th. Yeah, I've been impressed by just the pressure that Boston has been able to put on these pick and rolls just to kind of muck things up, make them have to kind of wait until everyone gets into the perfect position. There hasn't been as much flow to the Lakers offense.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Yeah, it's been a bounce back game for the Celtics. They have struggled of late, had 3-game losing streaks already this calendar year. Tice will depart. AD going to depart as well. Howard is back. Here's Daniels at the right elbow. Misses. Good box out by Cantor. And Marcus Smart, who has now come on, looks for Walker on that screen away. Good defense from KCP. Howard is out on the floor as well, trying to slide with Walker, and he'll pick up the foul.
It looked like Dwight was trying so hard to get to the spot that Kemba just beat him there and drew the foul.
Yeah, I think Kemba might have banged knees with the former All-Star center.
Yeah, I think he might have been knee to hip.
Yeah, remember Walker is coming off some knee issues. And remember, he's had a couple of surgeries on the knee as well. Lakers looks like they're in the zone. They cross screen for Cantor. Good strip from Howard, though. And they're going to give a loose ball foul on Howard. Cantor seemed to bang his knee as well.
Howard used his right arm and just to push him as Cantor was going towards the ball. That's a good call.
Yeah, we'll get a better look here. Yeah, absolutely. He just shoved him.
That was a great aggrieved face by Kenner there.
Lakers back in the zone and the sideline out of bounds. Smart attacks it. Man, Marcus Smart, the shooting growth that he has had over the last 2 years has been remarkable. I never thought he would get to this level as a shooter. Semi Ojeleye matched up against LeBron, remembers him well from his rookie year. Now LeBron backs it out, waves everyone away. Someone's going to come in the strong side zone here. Cantor tries to pressure him. Nice Danny Green cut by Daniels, and he drains the three. That Danny Green cut, usually it's when a pick and roll is coming on, but very rarely will guys cut to the strong side baseline. Here's Hayward, tries to dunk. He's stopped from behind by KCP. Hayward, not quite the same explosive athlete after the injury. Here's another three. KCP, not there. That one could have put him within 23. Kuzma is going to come in. So this is the first we've seen of him, really. And what are they going to get
Illegal
here?
Screen. Cantor basically kind of ran into
the roll into whoever's in front of you approach from the Boston Bigs.
Yeah, it wasn't as deft when you run through the guy who is guarding the ball handler as opposed to your own man.
Yes. Walker will get a break. Looks like he's still feeling the effects of that collision with Howard.
And they can be very judicious with Walker, considering the lead is currently 26.
Rondo tells Howard to change the angle of the screen. Now he goes back to Troy Daniels. And the reason that as Howard gets the tip in, the reason he wanted Howard to change the angle of the screen is so he could come off of it, and then there would be room for Howard to go screen away for Daniels. That was the play. Hayward off the Cantor screen, engages Howard, backs it out. Nobody gets him. Now they find Ojeleye in the corner. His three is cash.
Yeah, and the Lakers just had to scramble and recover. KCP had to leave his own man, and Ojeleye doesn't always hit those, but he hit that one. 57% from three for the Celtics. That's a big part of why this is such a blowout, even though they've outplayed the Lakers.
Well, I mean, can you remember a game with this few three-point attempts in a long time? I mean, 13 three-point attempts for the Lakers and only 21 for the Celtics. I mean, this is going to be – I mean, they'll probably take more now. There's another Daniels three.
That was a pretty zippy pass from Kuzma.
Yeah. Yeah, Kuzma has been doing more pick-and-roll work. Now the Lakers just don't get back, though, because Daniels fell into the camera or the bench on the other side, and now
they're called Dwight.
Another loose ball foul.
He had a high elbow there. It's an old kind of Dwight Howard frustration thing of just getting a little bit loose with his hands and elbows. I remember that going back to, I believe that was the 2015 playoffs against the Warriors.
Yeah, he tried to hold Cantor off. So loose ball foul leading to these free throws for the Turkish big man. Cantor, the number 3 overall pick back in 2011. Remember?
Despite not playing at all for Kentucky.
That's right.
And that was the Derek Williams draft, right?
No. Yes.
Kyrie, Derek
Wait.
Williams, Cantor?
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Yeah, who was number 2 in 2010?
Oh, God.
Sure, that wasn't the Derek Williams? No.
Was because I don't think Favors and Cantor were the same year. They could have been.
No, they weren't. Yeah. Yeah, so who was 2 in 2010?
I mean, like,
How am I not remembering this anymore? I thought it was Derek Williams, but it was 2011.
Evan Turner was number 2.
Oh, yeah. God, how could I forget that? Yeah, this is...
years of valid memories to wipe.
Well, we've been doing... are we into like hour 4 here now?
I think we're into hour 16.
Yeah, I think I'm just starting to lose it at this point. I'm not...
You're not Rain Man anymore.
Rajon Rondo will get some free throws. This'll perk us out of our malaise.
Oh, that's a point from Chris Pereira. It is a 6-2 timeout disparity right now. I'm guessing that some of that is just with the automatics tying in.
I think that might even mean that the Lakers, I think they still have 2 automatics left that they have to take. They might just have no timeouts to the end of the game. But if they can get to the end of the game, they'll be happy about that. Vogel had back-to-back timeouts early in this third quarter. Hayward, pick and roll, floater, just a little bit outside of the range he prefers.
Cantor went down and looked straight at the ref. That was amazing.
Daniels in the corner off of Kuzma. Now it's Rondo wants the screen from Howard. Into the lane.
He actually took the layup.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's his third layup. He's 1 out of 3 on those. Tatum blows past KCP. Nice help from Kuzma, but that leaves Hayward wide open. They never rotated back. Once it was picked up by Kuzma, KCP probably should have had that rotation to Hayward earlier, and we're back to a 28-point Boston advantage, and we will be ending this, I think, after this quarter. Rondo lays it in, down to 26. Yeah, and Boston, Brad Stevens has gone to a tighter rotation here. Grant Williams only played a little bit as there's a nice cut from Tatum, and he's going to get grabbed. That's something that people have noted on Twitter. Stevens has played Grant Williams for like 1 minute as a defensive replacement at the end of the first half. And Ojale, as a defender on LeBron, has really been the only other guy outside of the guys that he really trusts that he has to play. I mean, that's part of the problem is that Cantor, Tice, he has 8 guys really that he trusts that much. 7 guys. The 5 wing guys, Cantor, Tice, and then, you're going into Ojale and Grant Williams and Javonte Green. So that's probably, just even at the lower ends of the rotation, maybe it's even on the buyout market is where Boston can probably upgrade.
Yeah.
Here's Kuzma. Screened for by Howard. Goes into Cantor. Knocks him back. Scores. Yeah, and that's why it's hard for Cantor, because if you get a runway at him, he's not going to be able to stop you. He can't move. He can't jump. And then if you get out on the floor, he's a little too limited in terms of mobility. Here's Smart. Quick release 3. Air ball off of Hayward. 25-point game. We'll probably call it after this. Unless the Lakers hit 2 more 3-pointers. That's the only way I think we're going to stick around. Kuzma going at Ojale, floats it up, misses. Smart, and will stay here as Howard is fouled. He's going to shoot free throws.
That dramatically lowers the chance of getting 2 made 3-pointers.
Yeah, we want to thank Bookies.com again for sponsoring us today. Follow them at Bookies on Twitter or Bookies.com/NBA. You get expert picks from Mark Stropman. You can get all the lines, all the information that you need for NBA betting. And you can even click through to legal sports betting where they have some of the best deals available there as well.
Yeah, and it's great whatever you're trying to do. If you want to do money lines, if you want to do parlays, if you want to do spreads, all over-unders. Strawman had that hit on that over-under in the reference game that we did the end of earlier. So yeah, you can check all that. Bookies.com/NBA. @Bookies is their Twitter account. Knowledge is money.
Yeah, and hopefully you can support them for supporting us. I mean, there aren't a lot of companies who are like, oh yeah, you're casting NBA games, and maybe 1,000 or 2 people are gonna watch this thing. We're gonna sponsor you, so we really appreciate their support, and hopefully you can do the same for them. Here's Daniels. They gonna get another 3 before the quarter? Nope.
No.
Stolen by Tatum. Man, he is so good at that nail help defense. He almost makes the 3. But thanks for joining us. This was a lot of fun. Hopefully you were able to stick with us through Memphis, New Orleans, and then through that awesome Jaylen Brown dunk and overtime of Sacramento and Miami and a lot of stuff. When are we doing this next, by the way? That's a good thing to tell people.
I have the calendar up, so I just need to get over there. Next one scheduled is the 28th of January, Clippers at Lakers.
Excellent. All right, we will see y'all then.